Believe it or not, I pressed the go live button on time. Hello, everybody. Welcome in, welcome in. If you're wondering what I'm talking about with the go live button, last time I streamed, I had pressed go live in OBS, but not in the YouTube studio. And, oops, hear myself twice. What's going on? Where's that coming from? I hear myself twice. Hello, everybody. Where are you coming from? That's muted. All right. What's going on here? There it is. Close that guy. All right. There's always something to start a stream. It can never just be easy and flowing. So today we are going to be building this cargo hauler. We'll also go over the devlog here in a sec too, but I've been working on a bunch of different ideas for some cargo haulers because in the survival mode, I have created a bunch of different smaller vessels, but I don't have like a good vessel just to like load in refineries and stuff like that. So I wanted to build something that was sort of a universal cargo system. You could kind of use it for whatever. We'll get into sort of the full details of this soon. And I played around with a bunch of different form factors to get to this form factor. And we'll dive over, we'll go through everything. I guess I can flip here to, what am I doing here? Flip to the full. There we go. We'll go over all these, but yeah, so I got it to sort of a form factor I like. So I'm gonna start sort of greebling it out and doing that kind of fun stuff. Now, a lot of what I want to do with this is actually have like cool, like, I want to use like mechanical blocks for a lot of this. I know we don't have mechanical blocks yet, but I'm hoping they come soon. And sort of the devlog sort of hints that maybe it's sooner than later. We don't really know for sure yet, but it was road mapped mechanical blocks are supposed to come. VS 2.2 is supposed to come Q1/Q2. But I've been really wanting to make this and get it going, and I can at least get it built. And even though we don't have all the blocks I need for it yet, once we get to VS 2.2, I can just retrofit it accordingly. So we got a new devlog today. Let's go over this real quick because there is some fun stuff here about it. Is this the right one? 19th, yeah. It'll be kind of fun just to run through this thing because there was some sort of fun stuff in here, and they don't always do videos for every one of their devlogs, so it'd be kind of fun to kind of touch on some of these things and see what you guys think about some of the stuff going on with this update. So obviously they got a stream coming tomorrow, so I guess they will probably go over some of this for this one. They don't always have streams for these though. There was some stuff I want to talk about in here that is interesting. This is just a video showing optical illusions. It's whatever. I mean, I think really only this is the best illusion that's in there. The rest, I don't know. It is what it is. But we got some highlights here. So they're talking about freeze phase. So our next update for SC2 VS 2.2 has entered the feature of freeze phase, which means we have finished all features, not adding more, and just polishing and fixing what is in the game. This means we need to do a lot of testing, reviews, and improvements. So I don't know how long these phases usually go. I think they said they did a freeze from the first vertical for VS2 originally. I don't recall how long the freeze was on for before it came out, but I don't know. Hopefully we'll see what happens. They got some highlights here talking about rifle gun and rocket launcher already in the game. We've seen some videos for the rocket launcher. It looks pretty cool. The rockets look like they're pretty fast. Like it looks like they zip right along pretty well. So that's going to be exciting. I don't know if they lock on or not. I think in the first one they didn't lock on. If I recall, you just fire them, which after playing GTA 6 a bunch, get a little sensitive to lock-on missiles sometimes if they go too fast. We already know welder and grinder blocks are coming in, big tool blocks, which will be useful because typically like building bigger things like this in-game has not been super great because we don't have like area welding or block welders. So you have to hand weld everything, and when you're getting into like depth of detail, like layers of things, it's really hard in survival now. So that'll open up a lot of stuff in survival, being able to have those tools. So cannot wait for that. And they also talk about projection building. Again, we already know a ton about projection building, but I'm really curious to know is if we can project mechanical blocks into survival, because in the feature I want the most is being able to like project mechanical blocks in survival, because in Space Engineers we could make all kinds of really cool ships and people did all kinds of cool mechanical block ships, but you could never really realistically use them in survival, and that kind of was super annoying. Like you had to like have everything like a separate blueprint and like you had to like add like a piston and then add a projector onto the piston and then project from that piston and then build that little element. And then if you just go into battle, it just gets destroyed immediately. All that work was just a huge waste of time. So we'll see what happens here. Here's a video of the rockets too. And then he talks about combat a bit, and he links back to the July 2025 post, which this is actually the post that made me make that shields and survivability video. This is where he's talking about like the rock paper scissors balance. He talks about shields in this video, so he's referencing back to that post again. So we'll see what's coming down the pipeline for combat. Just more about development. We have this like Delphos kill field, which is pretty cool. Because right now when you fly close to Delphos, nothing happens. A lot of people have flown to Delphos and noticed that say subgrids mechanical blocks is a little undefined. Okay, subgrids, you're right. Yeah, you couldn't print subgrids into sorry, my buddy's texted me instead of just chatting into the YouTube chat. Splash damage. Yeah, I meant to say you couldn't print subgrids very well, not mechanical blocks. So yeah, hopefully that gets better. This killing field is interesting because your ship will be destroyed. They say that he says the killing field visuals are still a heavily work in progress, which I'm curious how much of the damage model is visuals versus the actual particles, because eventually if you're sitting here too long, the ship just disappears, just kind of explodes. So I hope that if you get close, it's like gradual damage to the blocks that are exposed to it, and the whole ship just doesn't disappear. But we'll see what happens. This is pretty cool. I guess I could zoom this in a little too here, since it's a little. Here we go. These are pretty cool. Just some like flat plain panels for greebling. Ira was talking about this in his stream too, and I'm excited for these as well. It's sort of just a plain wall you can just build a grid with. The interior walls don't look super great when you're as I'm sure you know, when you're just like tiling them. They just oops. It just doesn't, all the lines and stuff. It just isn't the greatest. So it'll be great to have like a more plain wall in here. So I'm excited for that. Any blocks, the better. And speaking of, they also have these like wall variants with like a cutout with like these little insert things. So there's inserts like vents and like server racks and little like storage area things. I think the inserts are cool. Like I don't really know that I'll use this like wall variant with the cutout very much, because you could just make this with just like armor blocks. Like that's just a 2x2x1, just a light armor half block. But I guess something else to work with, another block to work with. But these like vents and stuff are really cool, and these server racks are pretty cool. So it's just cool to see that they're thinking about more just kind of greebly things like this to add. And with the new unified grid system, we can really kind of stack these things on top of each other. It looks pretty cool. Got more passageways, and actually we'll have sort of like a live stream and video thing dedicated to just making hallways, because there's actually a lot of really cool hallway stuff that we can do in Space Engineers 2 with this new system and stuff like that. And you can do a lot of stuff with bounce sliding with the ray tracing. Like we just see in their previews a lot of the lights just attached to the ceilings and stuff, but and that's really the most you can do. There's not a ton with these passageways to put lights, so you kind of got to put them where you can put them. But when you do like bounce sliding stuff, you can actually have like insets and have the lights bounce from like behind the wall up to the little inset and then like down. It's pretty cool actually, a lot of the stuff you can do with bounce sliding. Then we got some moon stuff, just some moon preview stuff. We've seen a bunch of moon stuff, but always is cool to see another planet coming in. There's this little thing about this like Stompy, it's like this little like AI badger he's working on. I like to see him working on like AI stuff and the large language model stuff, because Keen has the I think it's up here. I think they have a link to it. They have this AI people, and he talks about NPCs and stuff in Space Engineers 2. And I was kind of hoping this would take me to a better example, but that's just taking a good AI. Did I click AI people or did I click good AI? Oh, weird. It goes to good AI. I guess it redirected it. This used to be, I feel like there used to be a landing page for AI people, but it's sort of like NPCs that sort of adapt to like a large language model with like ChatGPT or something like that. So it'd be really interesting to see if that gets incorporated into the NPCs in this game, because if you could sort of shape the world with like NPC interactions and sort of prompt them with whatever you want, it could sort of shape the world uniquely for like every playthrough, which is pretty cool. Sort of like if the game was like a tabletop RPG, which is interesting. But yeah, so that's that with the devlog thing. We're also, just a side note of things with the Racing League. have I put like an announcement in the Discord for the race league, just sort of making sure everyone's on board with sort of the final parameters for the time trials. So because we don't have like a timer or anything built in the game, or multiplayer for that matter, we'll do sort of like a Discord event where I'll be in the Discord and people will just like stream their screen one at a time, and then they'll do their, like, it'll be like a 5-lap circuit, and we'll record overall times, best lap times, and there'll be winners for the best 5-lap time, the best lap time, individual lap time. And then you can use anybody's ships for it. We took a poll on it, and it's unanimous that yeah, people should be able to use anybody's ships for the racing. And there's a lot to choose from. I mean, we have an insane amount of ships in here. So I think we're up to like 15 or 16 or 17 different racers and stuff. So I'll have a video coming out for highlighting these community builds and more about the event and stuff, but we're probably about the end of February. We're going to do some time trials, and we'll have different times for it, so everybody can submit their times and have a chance to play and stuff like that. Yeah, so that's all that fun jazz. Anyway, back to our cargo hauler. So this has been the, why does it say P lock and connect? It's a bug. Shouldn't say that when I'm flying around in my, it's just going to be on my screen. There it goes. There it goes. So I wanted this cargo thing to be big enough to like fit like a refinery in. So if you wanted to make it like a production facility, you could. You can kind of see here a preview of just sort of filling it up with stuff. There's a lot of different inspiration for this build. Show you this like concepting doc I have. Sort of like, I sort of started with like a bunch of sketches, just sort of messing with different layouts of cargo ships, a bunch of different ways to use like mechanical blocks when we do finally have them. It's like things like landing gear, where you can sort of have like these hatches that sort of cover the landing gear, and this rotor here would have like constant force on it, and so it's always wanting to close, but when the piston opens, it's like has enough resistance to where it like folds open when the piston comes down, so it sort of kind of opens these bays in the side, and then when the piston comes back up, it'll just kind of force itself back shut again. So it'd be cool to make like some landing gear like that. Even here where there's like a piston holding back landing gear cover, and the cover pulls back, and then the landing gear can rotate down, because the animated landing gear is super sweet. You're sort of like an angled one using the rotors. We won't have hinges yet, so that'll be, we're sort of limited to using rotors for everything. Some ideas for gates and drop ramps and stuff. Otherwise, I've sort of just like compiled a lot of really cool like reference images to various cargo ships here. Like we have like a really cool like side loading concept, which I was playing around with. A lot of rear loaders, a lot of front loaders, cockpits in various placements. Like here's a ship from Alien Romulus where the cockpit is like up high and back. Somewhere they're obviously in the front, a lot in the front. So just kind of playing with different, just kind of looking at different shapes and things of that nature. And then this one here is just kind of exploring with different mechanical features we can include. Like this is another ship. I don't know that this one's from Alien Romulus, but I know there is a ship from Alien Romulus that works like this, but I don't know if this concept art is a concept art from Alien Romulus or not. But there's a ship that does the same thing where it's kind of got the two stages. So like the landing gear kind of comes out the side of this thing, but also this whole arm retracts and it drops this like gray cargo container. There's probably a better image I could find, but this one I just like look at this better. But I like the idea of this like triple piston sort of landing gear design. It was pretty cool landing gear. Here's like another sort of option for landing gear where it slides out and a little skid down at the bottom. Probably won't use that one on this build. Loved like this one here where the landing gear sort of just like pistons directly up into these little compartments there, whatever you want to call it. And then of course deflectors. A lot of deflectors and Star Wars stuff. It's a Corellian style ship, as you can tell, for those of you fellow nerds. And then just another cool like piston ramp idea where the ramp folds down with just these like straight pistons connecting to the side of the ramp. So as opposed to having a rotor or like a piston up high connecting to the tip, just sort of these like straight down rotors. So it's sort of just my doc going forward. And I even took some ideas of taking some pictures of some concepts and just sketching ideas down. So I had the ideas for later. Yeah, that's pretty much what we're working on. And I think one thing I want this ship to be useful for is also for doing like combat deployment things. So it'll load through the front, so you can kind of see as you're flying where your where you're going to ditch everybody at. Let me change the setting here. Let me also knock this down to medium graphics for the sake of not crashing the OBS. As much as I hate medium graphics. So yeah, I wanted it to be... Oh, wait, I need to put on... Okay, instructions are off. Okay, I need to make sure instructions are off because I'm probably going to crash. So I was playing around with a lot of different like cockpit locations, and it's sort of settling with just this high and front one, because you can really see sort of where you're going easier. And because if you're doing like a combat landing, you'll want to kind of make sure everyone's landing safe. But it's pretty good to just kind of see where you're going. Smacked it down a little hard there, but that's all right. And you can just kind of dump everybody out the front and yeah, deploy people. I did have another really cool sort of fun idea for another front loading one, which really would be a more combat intensive build. And I think one thing with any of these builds is you can sort of adapt them to whatever your specific needs are. I was playing around with this one. Okay, which one is the more finished one? This one here, which is like a belly landing, like a belly cockpit. What's cool about this is like I was envisioning this would be like a really good dropship build, because also I don't know if my chat thing is working. Hang on 1 second. I have issues with chat sometimes that I don't know why. And typically it's not this quiet for this long, but it could be this quiet. Who knows?
Remember the first video on the internet?
Because I chatted something earlier and disappeared. That's okay. So what's cool with this like a belly landing thing is if you were landing in like a combat zone, you could have like deflectors that sort of like fold down on the sides of it to sort of protect the pilot. And also the interior cockpit could have a ramp that drops down into the front center there. So as you're landing, and plus just the vision, you can really see where you're placing your landing gear when doing this, which makes it really useful as well. And I tried to actually see if there were like anybody that was any designs in anything that was like a belly cockpit like this, and I couldn't really find anything. I mean, the only thing I could really find was like cranes, construction cranes and stuff, but I couldn't really find many belly landing cockpit things. But it is interesting. But I think the thing I liked the least about it was just the overall visibility from the cockpit view. I think you lose a lot of visual reference and stuff around you when you're in this belly here, and especially if you're like flying up towards something you can't see like the top of a hill or a cliff or whatever. Obviously you can fly in third person, but it's really fun to build cockpits where you can fly in first person. There's a new game coming out. It's called what is it called? Something Up, not Atmospheres Up. But it's like a new shit. It looks like a Space Engineers knockoff, and they force first person for everything, like for flying and stuff like that. So people are really gonna have to think about their cockpits and stuff. But yeah, I played around with some like bulkier form factors and stuff, and just painted white, I think. But ultimately, I didn't really. That obviously, this is just sketching the frame. I'd never make one that just looks like a brick like that. Played around with some side loading ones. You lose some vertical clearance in this one, but in terms of space, actually you get a lot of space in the side loading ones. But I want to make sure you can fit refineries in here. And also played with just a front loading one. And this build is really where I was like, all right, having this just open cockpit is like super nice. Like it just feels good when you're flying. Maybe it's not the most effective for combat, but can also add deflectors that like fold around the cockpit. There'll be a more combat friendly version of the ship. But ultimately, I was like, all right, the front is nice, but I don't like the back loading. I don't like having the split thrusters in the back. And it's kind of nice being able to land and kind of seeing where everything's going to unload and stuff like that. Sort of more like a drop ship. And that's what led us to this guy. And let's see, let me find my engineer here. And what's cool about this is we'll have sort of this like upper area, which we'll start getting into the details on here and sort of sizing everything up. But you'll have this here. So we'll be adding sort of placeholders like this for like pistons and stuff for some various lifts and things. Like these will be like ramp stairs that'll fold down so you can get out under the ship, and just like the scale is pretty good. Like I think it's fun being able to like walk under ships and sort of have like this level of clearance. I think it adds just a very nice vibe to getting in and out of things. Obviously it's a little blocky right now, but we're just framing it up. And the front here, this will obviously fold down and unload. So I took a bunch of the screenshots from like the various dev diaries. It actually took a long time to find a piston one. There's a small piston also somewhere. I looked through like 20 dev diaries and could not for the life of me find the small piston, but I know it's just a 50 centimeter one, just like the rotor is here. Um, so I'm gonna try to put some placeholders in until we actually get these things, which will be fine. Like I think with like the landing gear, love the landing gear to fold up into the build. Check out your dryage hauler. It has a belly cockpit. Oh, is that just use the YouTube chat. Why are you texting me? Why are you texting me? Let me see. It was called is it live one? Dryage hauler? Is it it's the one that it's like kind of looks like a crane if I remember right. Dryage hauler. Yeah, this guy. Splash here. Splash damage 18. He's got some fun builds. He's one of the homies. Oh, upside down. I don't think this is Atmo friendly though. Is it? Oh, it is hydrogen. So you're saying this has got a belly cockpit? Place. I keep having this issue in creative where it can't place. There goes. Nope, it's only ion. It's fun. It like makes that sound if you place something and it like can't fly. So he says he's got a belly cockpit on this. Great minds think alike, I guess. And I get in there from the top. There we go. Yeah, belly cockpit. This one, he made this one to like haul stuff, so it's like a lifter, so you can like put stuff into here and haul it around. There's little, you see little landing pads, landing gear up at the top there. So I'm not totally alone in the belly cockpit thing, but this can always be adapted to be a belly cockpit if I wanted to make a more combat version. Also, there's going to be Gatlings in the new one, and these Gatlings here, these are by is it Wolf Knight made these? Made these turret model replica. Yeah, Wolf Knight made this turret module replica, made it look like Keen's concept art models of the Gatling turret block, which will just be useful placeholders. Hey, Comus. Here to hang, looking good. I was drawing lines on screenshots trying to guess the size of the hydro tank. So glad we have answers now. Yeah. Yeah, trying to guess the size of some of the things is that's sort of the rub if you're trying to like get it ready for a retrofit. Like, because these ones, I don't know that they might be a little narrower, maybe. There's a regular conveyor size block. So yeah, they're definitely bigger than these, for sure. This is probably closer to yeah, it's taller, quite a bit taller. Like if I were to place one of these down, I think I have one saved to my toolbar here. Just place it down. So the height of this one comes up to about there. This one, I think the conveyor is a little smaller than it should be. Hey, Blunt. I'm not sure how to say that. Why not a belly cockpit up front? If you put the ramp in the back or sides, it would work. Yeah. Well, if I did the belly cockpit, I would like the ramp to be in the front just so you can kind of see where it's landing better. But yeah, the belly cockpit could also be up front. The thing I liked most about the belly cockpit was being able to actually see the landing gear. Like I really liked that you could see what you were like grabbing onto and stuff, especially since it's a cargo thing. Like if you wanted to like be able to tow something, you could kind of ease your position and grab something really easy if you could see the landing gear. Plus just being able to like set it down exactly where you want is nice. Yeah, and the other thing the belly cockpit made sense for is when you're flying high. Like when you have the cockpits that are up top and stuff, you can't really see like the planets below you and stuff. Like pretty much everything in sci-fi depicts cockpits up top, mostly just because that's what planes are and stuff. But there's a lot of ways that when you're dealing with planetary stuff and looking down that the belly cockpit would make sense. And also if it's just like a cargo ship and you're just like at a like cargo bay or cargo port all the time, it would make sense to have a belly cockpit just so that way you can like see the cargo area below you and stuff like that. But the thing I liked least about it, though, my least favorite thing about it was the overall like silhouette. Like I didn't love, and of course this is just sort of a sketch of a build, but the silhouette was going to kind of be a little bulkier at the bottom and the back. Maybe it's not a big deal, and it would just have to be a little bit taller just to make sure that there's like some thickness to that bottom platform so it doesn't break. But you know, ultimately the landing gear is going to be lower than the cockpit is. I cannot wait until they fix. Sorry, I gotta turn this down. at least turn the sound effects down. I cannot wait till they fix this hydrogen sound bug thing. Drives me nuts. So unnecessary. Well, now, shoot, now I'm thinking that's cool. Belly cockpit going on the list. Well, now I'm thinking I should go back to the belly cockpit idea, because the other thing is you can, like, there's windows up there. You can see into the cargo area. So if you were to, and I will say it's not a coincidence that I'm making this big enough for the Renegade to fit in here, but it's kind of cool. So if you, like, had a, do this actually, put this guy in here, full effect, and then put my spectator camera down here. Control my oops oh boy, wrong button. What the heck did I do here? Wrong buttons galore. So if you're sitting in the seat, you can kind of like see your cargo coming and going and stuff. It's kind of a fun little way to survey it. Dropship cameras would help also. Yeah, that was the other thing I had in mind too, was like they've already kind of shown cameras, and obviously we'll have cameras eventually, so like any landing stuff, a camera could take over that. Because like realistically, if you had like your cockpit was low like this and you were landing, I don't know what the dust situation in this game is going to be, but if this thing was landing and you were firing these thrusters, there would be so much dust, like it would just blow dust all over your like your windshield and stuff like that. But it is fun to be able to walk around underneath this thing, and like if there was a door back here and you could sort of hand signal to the pilot, you know, if you're thinking of just like, I like to kind of get a little like realistic with thinking about how like the crew would communicate and stuff like that. It's sort of just an interesting way to like signal to the cockpit, or yeah, it's ready. And you could have like the whole floor drop out. Like I'll probably have on any of these builds, I think the floor, there'll be a ramp, but I think also the floor to drop is a potential as well. Especially since with the mechanical blocks, we could have 2 levels of like where the landing gear can deploy. So this is sort of like the shallow state if like the ramp's going to drop, but if you wanted the whole bottom of the ship to just come down like a landing pad, if you needed to like load stuff on and off and didn't want to deal with the ramp, you could have a second setting on the pistons, so when they extend at a longer angle, and that would give enough clearance for the ramp to drop, especially if you wanted to load something that was maybe taller than your ramp area. Yeah, it can be sort of adapted to whatever, but I did think that the cockpit up here sort of looked pretty clean, and we'll get it more in line with the armor and stuff. But like it just feels good flying around and having like this kind of a view, just in terms of overall good feeling. This was the most vibing that I had as I was flying around. But maybe we'll do the belly one for more of a dropship one or something. We're still a ways out from actually being able to like have any reason to deploy troops or anything like that. So just sort of needed a cockpit area, or a cargo ship. But I'm really excited to like use mechanical blocks on this like unified grid system to be able to like use the smaller mechanical blocks on a large grid style ship to build lifts, to build ramps. Like these will have pistons above them that pull these back in. And on these, I'm actually going to do like a 2-stage piston. So there'll be like a bottom piston and then like a higher piston. And one of those is going to be just like a shock absorber, and the other one's going to be like the length setting, because I think it's super sweet when like ships land and they sort of like absorb that shock, you know. So I'm super excited to sort of mess around with those parameters, and I hope to God the mechanical blocks in this game are not clangy, because I have a lot of big dreams for what to do with mechanical blocks, and if they're super clangy, it's going to be a little disappointing. But I'm just assuming that's not going to be the case, especially since people do all kinds of like weird things with like nets and chains and stuff like that, and they don't seem to really have much issue. So hopefully there's not too many phantom forces going on. So one thing I needed to decide before I make this thing bigger was the size of the interior. So we have enough room to like put a refinery here on its side, not standing up tall, but on its side. So if you needed to turn this into like a manufacturing center, you could, which is what I would do. But I think what does not fit is a large cargo container, because they're like pretty big boys. But it could be mounted to like the ceiling or whatever. Like you could just lose the floor if you really needed to store a big cargo container for whatever reasons. You could, in theory, ditch the floor. Still not big enough? What's going on? Yeah. And it would stick out a little, but you could armor around or whatever. But there's not really a huge reason for like a big cargo container all the time. I mean, it's cargo ship, so there's not a reason for it. But you could, if you needed an armor version or a container version, you could just extend the belly of the ship down. And ultimately, that's what I like to do, is kind of just like make ships that are sort of like universal. Like I actually had an initial sketch going for this thing that was like this sort of like a side mounted sort of cockpit thing. And one of the things I was even thinking is like when I built the mission runner, one of the things I built it to be useful for was to be like a general like utility frame. So if you look at the mission runner, the this whole propulsion area is sort of like its own thing. So like if you wanted to, you could sort of take this apart. So I initially thought if I did sort of this like side cockpit thing, that I actually could just take like the front half of the mission runner here and reuse this like cockpit and just sort of reconfigure these propulsions areas, make them a little bit bigger, and extend this all the way out to the side and have it like straddle cargo. Because this whole thing you can kind of just like take apart from here. Really, you could take this part off, just do a seamless cut like this. Boom. And you sort of have this like propulsion system thing that you can sort of like strap whatever you want onto this thing. So I like to kind of build ships where they can be sort of repurposed for a variety of things, and that's certainly what this sort of cargo ship's going to be. Kind of like how you have let's see. I mean, this is sort of a real example, right? So you have the C-130. It's a great cargo plane, but you can also strap it full of weapons. Right? Got all the weapons come out the side and stuff. So obviously the frame doesn't change too much in this one. Here's a nice Lego version. By the way, if you ever want inspiration for like building things, looking up like Lego stuff is a super cool thing on Pinterest to like. There's a lot of great like builds on Pinterest that are built out of Legos, and it sort of uses a similar design language as Space Engineers blocks, so it actually is a pretty good way to go. Hey, Uncle Andy. Landing gear suspension seems like an awesome thing to implement. I have high hopes on how they will implement subgrids to the game. I certainly do too. Subgrids need to be good. You can make a modular cargo container, drop pod, mobile refinery. Exactly. Yeah. And it would kind of be fun to even I just made a huge mess here. What would actually be fun too that I've thought about with a lot of these like modular builds is doing like community challenges too. So like I sort of like introduce the frame and the base ship, and then we sort of have like a design contest or whatever, and see all the different ways people could use it for whatever factor. You know, no limitation. It could be you can make it into a military vehicle. You can make it into whatever refinery thing, a mining ship. Just kind of see different ways to get creative with it. And I think that would be kind of a cool thing just to have anyway, to sort of show like the adaptability of a lot of like unified grid system ships in SE and stuff. So one thing I was curious about just in passing with this is if I should make it one block wider. And there's not going to be a clean way to do this, because we're going to just cut this ship in half. Do I have a large block I can grab onto? Trying to figure out if I can I guess I'll just use it from this thing. Just cut it in half. No, not that one. I thought I had a large grid. I guess I can just do it from the window. See what happens here. Sliced. This is going to make a mess. This is going to make a big ol' honking mess. Oops. I'm already thinking with how much of a mess this is going to make, I should just stick with the width that it is. Okay, that should fall down now. Oh no, it's still got thrust, never mind. Alright, so we're going to copy this. Oh, it's still one grid? What? Why? I copied it and it copied the whole grid. What the heck? This should not be one. There's literally a hole through the whole center of it. Classic. What's holding on? What's our holdout? I'm trying to do like a Herbie the Love Bug thing here. Anybody? I used to watch these movies all the time. I think I watched. Let's see. All right. You know what? Let me just cut the whole ship and then paste it and see if that fixes it. I need my fix ship command. I have never actually. There it goes. There it goes. Cut and paste is the fix ship. Okay, but now this is moving, which is not super useful. And okay. All right, now we'll cut this out of here. Paste it over here. If you bonk into one side, activate physics for it. Oh, okay. That's good to know, too. So I just had to run into it with something. Weird. Okay, so I want to make it one full block wider, so we'll grab our... From this block. I do wish there was a little bit of a faster way to scroll with this thing. There's I don't know if you ever tried to use the partial copy to, like, work on a super huge build, but it is, it's pretty, takes a while. A lot of scrolling sometimes if you have a huge build. I need to get rid of that block. Is it on here too? It is. Shoot skis. All right. Need to get rid of this. Then I need to get rid of it on this. And then let's get rid of these. Actually, this can stay for now. Let's copy this block. Remember, wherever you copy the block from, it's that's the block it's gonna paste on. Oops, but that's not gonna paste clean there. Need to grab it from this one. No, wait, I'm grabbing from the wrong side. Need to grab it from, you know, I do need to delete these. Oh gosh. What a disaster this is turning out to be. You know what? I'm gonna grab it from the window. I need to grab it from this side. Just get rid of these. My workspace was so clean, and now it's just a mess. Like, we got Logitech mouse, and with it I can activate the mouse wheel to be like a fidget spinner. Oh yeah, mine just has the little like clicky wheel thing. Cheap one. But I have it because this mouse is like, I got this like handshake mouse, right? It's like a really ergonomic mouse, but they're really cheap. They're like 25 bucks, but because of that it has 25, it feels like a $25 mouse. But it if I don't have a mouse like this, I like start to get like carpal tunnel and stuff, so sort of a necessary thing. I need to add one more of these. Oops. Copy. Accidentally press copy instead of paste. Copy. And Logitech does have like a more ergonomic one, but it's really expensive and it doesn't quite have the same ergonomics as this one does. This mouse just feels so good. Boy, I've made a mess of this. So now I need to get rid of this all the way to that window. Need to be able to grab that window cleanly. A lot of mess just to get the ship one block wider. I think I'm gonna have to take this off the ground to paste this, or at least rotate it. It's gonna stay. All right, and then we'll paste this over here, more out of the way. Oops, not on the ground. Oh, excuse you. What are you doing? Sir? Sir? Wasn't having that issue before. Stay. Stay. We're just gonna do a safety thing here. We're just gonna put this on here, and then we're just gonna turn that guy off. Also, this is why I highly recommend you build in creative mode with the with the just with destructions turned off. So it's just used to be in the early stages. If understood correctly, I'm making this for VS 2.2. Yeah, it'll work in like regular. It'll work in any mode. I'm just designing it with in mind that when mechanical blocks do come out, eventually, that I can add in sort of like landing gear and stuff like that to it. Like it'll still work until then, because we don't know yet when 2.2 is coming out. So, but I just really wanted to make I just really needed a cargo ship, because I've like in survival mode I don't have any like main flying ship that has like a refining system in it or anything like that. So it's been driving me nuts. So it's a 2.1 ship with 2.2 considerations in mind. Oh, I deleted the whole. No, I didn't delete it. It's just over here. Oh man, I really broke this thing super bad. But the core thing I was just trying to figure out is if I want the wider ship or not. This was all just for the sake of deciding if I wanted it to be one wider, which in hindsight probably was not worth this journey. Definitely changes the silhouette of the ship a little bit. Let's fly it. Do I have gyros in here? Or did I lose my gyros? I may have lost my gyros. Just one gyro. Let's make it 2 gyros, and I lost my battery. Alright, should have everything else though. All my other faculties should be in place. Definitely a lot more to see in the cockpit area. I actually don't think it like hurts the silhouette or anything too bad. It gives us more cargo space, and ultimately it's a cargo ship. I think that extra block will be useful for loading and unloading. Give us a little more room up top. The cockpit area actually could just be as narrow as it was before. It doesn't have to be as wide as it doesn't have to be 3 wide. A little wider. Nothing drastic though. Yeah, look at that front area though. Look at the size of the difference of loading bay. Huge difference. How does it feel on foot? Give it the good old foot test. Yeah, I think the one extra wide was is what it needs to be. What do you think? Be our ramp. Doesn't feel big. Feels like just like a normal cargo size, especially since like this landing gear will be sort of like hidden. There'll be like a wall there, sort of. Maybe you'll see the pistons. It would be kind of cool if you could see the pistons and stuff. And then you can haul a bigger ship in here, because otherwise right now it barely fits the let me take this gate down for a sec. It's like this ship's about 3 blocks wide, so like when you're loading it into the ship now, this ship, which is a small ship, is just wide enough to fit into the front there. But with 4 wide, we could get a little bit something wider, especially if we're going to be building like a tank or something like that. But now should it also be 1 taller? It's a decision that if you make now makes everything else easier, because having to change this later would be a huge pain in the butt. Not sure if you were from the US, but if you are, congrats on the women's hockey team winning Olympic medal. Gotta go sleep now. Have a nice stream. I am from the US. Did not know they won. Go. That's good for them though. It's nice. Yeah. Have a good sleep, Uncle Andy. I'll shoot you that thing over later. I was telling him I was gonna shoot you over. That's a secret. Coming soon. No spoilers. Something's coming. From Uncle Andy and I. Yeah, I think I like this wider one. I don't think it needs to be taller. I don't really know what kind of tall thing I would need necessarily. But this also gives more room for cargo. So like if you had like a small mining rig, you could park it to the side and you could have cargo off to the right. So I think this will be good. Don't worry, I won't say anything, but you guys should go subscribe to Uncle Andy's YouTube page. See, this is how you just that monstrosity I posted earlier, just one block wider. Oh, is that you? Were you the porpoise or whatever? I'll show people that. What was it called? Yeah, let me pull it back up in the building a mobile garage for your hot rod. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I can roll up to because the Renegade's only a atmospheric ship. So if I want to like go race on Chemic, you gotta be able to haul it over there. Let's see. This is what Comus was talking about. Paste it in here. Let's see how big this thing. Yours is way bigger. The porpoise is huge, from what I could tell from the the Steam photos. Oops. See if it flies. Oh, it's upside down. Oh boy, it's thinking. It's thinking. This is a chunky boy. So you went with the back loading also. It's too big, you say. It's pretty big. Depends what you're parking in here, I guess. This is definitely a big boy though. Yeah, the doors. Are you kind of prepping this for 2.2 also? Or are you gonna add in pistons to these doors so they close shut? If not, you should. Oops. I see your little pallet up here. Busted. Maybe I'll use that. So what do we got in here? Can you get down to that, or is it just, no, it just shows you conveyor access? This is in fact a big ship. Oh, it goes into the sides over here. How do I get it? See how I can get up to the top there. Here we go. This is like, this isn't like a cargo base. This is like, or a cargo ship. This is straight up just a base. This is so big. You can fit a lot more cargo and cargo containers inside of it. That's for sure. Chunky boy. I think you did a little bit more on yours though than just make it one block wider. I think you did that about 10 or 20 times. Hey, Stone Lords. Oops, my damper's off. I'm even flying in person for. Okay, so I'll proceed with the one wider. You know, SC2 conveyor manager are going to be such a meme. Yeah, definitely. Then flipping back and forth. I actually kind of started already working on the conveyors for this one, just trying to get these things all ported up. Of course, when you're in creative, like most of these things actually aren't even ported to anything, and you can do infinite energy here in the debug menu to like be able to have thrusters work without needing them all ported, which is really nice. So you can like, so another reason I like to build in creative with debug on is you can like mess with thruster placement without having to like go through the hassle of like conveying everything up if you don't know what's gonna like where it's gonna land. Okay, so I broke the inside here. Let me see if I can find, I'll just grab this one, I guess. Let's grab this again. Even though this will probably move as well. Oh, that's not even centered now because we made it up one wider. That's okay. We're just kind of getting the frames figured out here. Also in the back, I did initially have the larger thrusters, but it kind of felt like comically large as opposed to like a set of the smaller ones. And also I wanted some like fuel tanks back here. Even though I do have a lot of fuel tanks in the sides, like we have a ton of fuel tanks thrown in here already. And I don't know exactly, hydrogen is pretty efficient right now in SC2. Like it a little bit actually goes pretty far. So I don't know if it'll be fully necessary to have too many tanks. But just for lols, let's do this. Let's park this. Since we're done with this guy for a second, let's park this back over here in the parking area. Staging area. Sort of our versioning area. This is version history. Power that guy down. Let's clean up all this crap. Clutter, clutter, clutter. Clean your mess. Messy boy. Alright. Hopefully I didn't break anything on the ship. What was I about to do? Oh yeah, I was messing with the thrusters in the back here. So just for funsies, since we have an undo system, let's see what it looks like now if I put the big thrusters back on. Oops. Double oops. Shoot. Not what I had in mind. I may have just lost my ability to undo because I just made a second grid. Whoopsies. I need to find my center line again. There. Still just feels a little too big. And I think with the excess use of fuel, I'll need those fuel tanks back. Yeah, I have no undo history. Oops. Oopsies. But I could mess with an extra thruster now that it's wider. Could do 8 in the back. That seems excessive. I think probably just a 6 is fine. Also, I did lose some up top here. Let me just add these back in so I don't be under thrusted. What are we looking profile wise? Not gonna lie though, with the 2 big ones, it did accelerate pretty well. The 6 smaller ones don't have the same punch. And this isn't even full yet. Once it's armored and full, I'll probably regret not having the those back ones. By the way, what's cool in first person is if you know if you got good level landing gear, if you know your landing gear has clearance, you can just sort of lean back and let those rear landing gear find their spot, and then just thrust down, and it gives you a perfect landing every time. It's pretty nice. You just lean it. I don't need to be level when you're doing it. It'll find level and then just thrust down and then perfect landing 100% of the time. It's great. It's great. Because if it has the dual thrusters, it flies so fast. It would be interesting if they added G-force like damage to your player in this game. Like if you accelerate too fast, it like ticks down your health. Be sort of an interesting way to prevent too arcadey of a build. If anybody's seen The Expanse, you know what massive G-force changes could have on a body. It's not good. So maybe we'll just kind of leave the back alone until we get farther along, and we'll see how the 6 thrusters do. Let's fill in some more gaps here. Okay, so we have the front area. So I think since this is going to be our cargo width, I might start with sort of designing the cargo frame first, and then sort of work out from there, because the cargo bay is sort of the bread and butter of this whole situation. One thing I wanted to do, I don't know if I have any reference imagery of it, but one thing I wanted to do was design like sort of like a frame system inside of the Let's see, where's my trusty Pinterest board here? That's not us, the wrong account. That's okay. Wanted to build like an actual like structure frame and like a ship would kind of be, and then sort of build out from that. So I guess as an example, like I kind of wish we had the girder blocks we had in the first Space Engineers. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just going to build an example of one of the girders. How tall are we? So we're 4 wide. Oh, we are about only 2 blocks tall. That is not super tall. I guess I could use this for the... This is as close as we have to a support type thing. Alright, so 1, 2, 3... So I'm trying to think how I'm going to do this. The only thing about this is we don't have an angle for it, and I want there to be an angled kind of vibe to it. I wonder if I can make a girder, which is detail blocks. Let's make this gray just so we can see it better. Delete part of the floor here, because the bottom will be flush with the floor. You know, I think I actually did make one time. Let me place something. I built this way early into Space Engineers, and I never did anything with it. Say like a girder crane. Ooh. So it's supposed to look like a... I'll probably eventually have a pack of just random props, but yeah, it's supposed to be just like a sort of like a crane you'd see like in type of warehouse. I'm just kind of referencing this real quick to see what I made girder kind of support things that I thought I had a support. Yeah, kind of like this, I guess, but there's no holes in it. But I could get a little more, I could get a little cute with it. This is just, oh, I did this all detail cubes. 1, 2, 3, 3 wide. Okay. That'll eat the PCU pretty quick. Let's make it gray. Let's just riff here for a sec. Let's go down. Let me see. Let me go flush, actually. Indecisive. See, I've always gone back and forth with myself on whether I wanted to, like, do these types of streams live or not, because I wasn't sure how much I'd be, like, sitting here overthinking things, or if anybody would get use out of it or not. So we have this. So now if we kind of take these, just do sort of like a... something like that. Sort of build a frame. Does it need to be 3 wide, though? I don't know if it needs to be 3 cubes deep. Let's get rid of a row just to see. We're sort of building our template first, then we'll extrapolate it. Let's copy that little section. I love this partial selection tool. It is so useful. It doesn't always let you drag right, though. I haven't figured this out. So, like, I can't drag left here to make it go. It only wants to go out in like forward and backwards. You see it going out the back over there. I have not figured out why that is the case. Like, it's very sensitive. Like, it isn't like it's like all or nothing. See, it goes all the way out there, or it just does this one. I don't know why that's the case. And surprisingly, it pasted symmetry. I didn't think it would do that. Sometimes it doesn't place very well with symmetry. Sometimes it does. See how we do in the center. Did we just coincidentally make it the perfect length? We just coincidentally made it the perfect length. I didn't even mean to do that. Nice. Happy accidents. Okay, so now we sort of have that. So now we need to figure out the corner. So I need to angle it. Let's just start putting blocks in and see what happens. Let's get a little breathing room so I can see better here. Let's go. Let's make it. Let's go one more. All right, and then we can go straight up from here. It's too deep, so I need to go, I think, one more on the back here. Like so. And that's wide enough, right? Yeah, we're clearing the gate. Okay, and then we will copy this. The equivalent of 2 blocks, since that's about how high we are. 2 blocks. It's just to see how far I should copy. So from here to there, we'll just complete the... Okay. Grab that. Oops, I forgot to add the depth. Actually, start from this one. It'll be easier to place. They used to, when you did the partial copy, it would like put like a red highlight around all the blocks you've selected. But now they got rid of that for some reason. Now you have to just like go fly to the end of where you're selecting to see if you have it all selected or not. Sort of a weird. I don't know why they got rid of that. It was actually a really good feature, I thought. It's when they cleaned up the general aesthetic of the partial copy tool. But it felt like something that didn't need fixing. All right, here we go. Ooh, might be a little high. It's all right. Let's paste that one over here. I'll have to figure out how to resolve this connection there. Maybe I'll just make the whole thing solid. So I wanted to have like a few of these basically, so the whole internal of the frame is like a few of these connected together. So there'll be like 4 or 5 of these, and that's sort of the fuselage, if you will. These. All right, so we have to replicate our corner. So now the one question is, does the cockpit need to be this low? The cockpit is more or less in an arbitrary height right now. I sort of just connected it. So I don't need to like, and I could, I guess, extend back farther. I know ultimately I didn't want the whole, like this will be sort of like a personnel area. So there'll be like Scrabble kit in here and stuff like that. I didn't want the whole area to be too high because if it's going to take damage from the top, I wanted there to be enough thickness on the roof. But we could also just build it a little higher as well. Just a little bit, not a lot, just a couple blocks maybe. But since we're working on the cargo area, and right now this is 2 blocks high, elite level selection tool use. You know what? One thing I do wish the partial copy had was a partial cut. Like there's so many times I'm like, I just want to like remove a section. I wish you could like remove with that tool also, because it's a great way to like just mass delete things, but you can't mass delete with it right now. Let's go back to our idea here of it being able to hold a refinery. Let's see how tall it should be based on our refinery, which is too high. I just want to visualize with this rather than regular blocks. Maybe we can make it one higher. Yeah. Famous last words. Because the roof, I don't want it to be flush like the floor is going to be. The floor is just flush because it's a floor. And ultimately, I might even put a grate over the top of it, because this isn't sealed, obviously. I don't think, what happens if you walk over something like that? Well, it lets you walk by. So I could have just armor on underneath of it to make it airtight, and just leave this as a fun detail. It's not uncomfortable to walk on or anything. You notice it. Actually, even with like blocks like this, I actually don't mind this like stair step feel, Like it slows you down when you're running up the stairs, as opposed to this where you can just like sort of like every other video game just like fly up the stairs. Like, you know, I do like this kind of a stair with the blocks because it actually makes your character slow down, which is super cool. And feels like the way stairs should. You shouldn't just be able to zip upstairs. It always is silly in a lot of games that you go just as fast upstairs as everything else. That said, there was that Norwegian skier that put a 6-minute mile time on skis going uphill. That's crazy. Hey, Bribby. Welcome, welcome. We're destroying as much as we're creating right now. Let me just connect this floor so it doesn't fall. So I'm going to delete some stuff. Delete all this business. And potentially maybe you see the girder on the floor below too. Who knows? All right, so let's go ahead and delete these things. Wait, how was our... Oops, don't cut. Maybe it should be... It's a pretty snug fit. I think once I add the corner, it won't be as snug looking. All right, so let's copy... Let's copy this area. Actually, I do need that gone. Just get rid of these two. Let's select... Remember, your starting block is the most important to select because that will determine where it pastes. Figured out how to get custom colors yet? Yeah, I mean, you can, there's a few ways. There's like people have posted the workshop, like, sorry, sometimes I lose my thinking when I'm placing things. There's like workshop items that have the palette, but you can also in the debug menu, if you're in creative mode, there's a paint. Is this one? Yeah, paint. You can turn this on and you can actually paste in hex codes here. And this is your paint wheel. So these are like all the colors that appear in this menu. So you can actually change it in the debug menu here. I don't know if this saves from instance to instance or not. Like if you, cause like, you know, when you like reload the game, the like creative mode tools turn off, right? So like it turns destructions back on and it turns off infinite energy. But it does keep settings saved like the sun. Like every time I load into here, my sun rotation's off. Like I'm just kind of permanently locked into this golden hour, which I really like. So I haven't messed around yet to see if it saves these paint settings or not from session to session, but you can do it that way. Otherwise there's color palettes that you can find on the workshop and you can paste those in and just like use your paint gun to like select the color you want. Like a color. Yeah, like these. So you can also pick custom colors that way. This a little bit easier to do this way, I suppose, than using the paint wheel. But if the paint wheel is able to like save it from session to session, then you can just like set your paint wheel once and not have to like sample colors or anything like that, which is certainly useful. Okay, so we have our... Oh. Just got a text from Splash Damage here. Too bad my YouTube... Oh, I see. Could you put glass windows in the footwell of the cockpit to get better visibility if you don't want to extend the cockpit? Could you put glass windows in the footwell if you don't want to extend the cockpit? You mean just to like look down to see down to the cargo area? Or just generally like lower in here? What do you mean? Like, do you mean like this floor by footwells? Splash Damage has got elite level access. He texts me his chats instead of using YouTube. He's a cool guy. Okay. So this sort of now is our frame. So basically I'll have like I'll copy this and paste it and have it in like 5 or 6 different spots. So it sort of makes the general frame. Ooh, it does kick our landing gear out. So I guess the most front one would be in front of the landing gear. So this is where it's going to get tricky trying to figure out how to make sure I'm leaving room to retrofit for like mechanical blocks when that time comes. Because one thing I wanted to do with this front landing gear actually was to potentially not have it just fold up, but actually have it rotate out. So that way, if you're like flying in space or whatever, you can have your landing gear forward and you can use it as like a tugboat. Yeah, just to see down in front instead of making your ship taller. Oh, I see. Yeah. I'd only make it taller just to get more clearance in the cargo area, just like 1 or 2 blocks taller. I'm not worried about really visual clearance. Like you can see, I think this is like a fine amount of visibility to see out the front. I'm not really worried about seeing down. Actually, one thing with like the down cop, because I played around, used to have, where did I have one that was a front down? Yeah, like one thing with the down that is interesting is like you can't get as close to the window. So like you're sort of farther back. So any window that's like angled down, you kind of, even though it seems like you should be able to see down better, you actually kind of lose a bit of clearance. Like unless you built like a, you know, fuller cockpit that had like stacks of windows or something like that. Here's a, like this one, you can see down a little bit better. You can get a little closer to the front window. So you almost have a little bit of a better clearance down. And same with this belly one, it was, I sort of did a flat row with the angle down, because if it's just a straight flat window, which I actually think I have a straight flat window on this one. I guess this one's not so bad, but this one you're also like parked on the ground, so you don't need to worry about how far down you can see, because you can see the down. Yeah, so I don't know if I'll add more windows to the cockpit area. Okay, so if these are going to be on rotors, in theory, let me lift this off the ground a little bit because I'm going to take this landing gear off. Also, I could put this crane inside if I wanted to, I guess. I did, one thing I want to do eventually too with, this is a really cool example. See how this ship from Alien Romulus has these like pistons that come out with grabbers? I thought it'd be super cool to have. Oh, here's an example of what I'm trying to do. Is this right here, basically. Yeah. Look at that. Is have these like pistons that come out to like grab stuff, so you can like grab it and pull it back in, and then like the base of the ship on the floor could be like a ton of like it could just be a bunch of landing gears that are all set to auto lock. So like you can have the pistons grab something, bring it to the very back of the ship, drop it and lock it, and then extend back forward, grab something else and bring that back in, drop it and lock it. You could pop it on the way too if you want. Okay. So this is also maybe going to interfere with our ramps, but our ramps can be in between them. So now I got to figure out how far apart I want these things to be. So let's go ahead and grab one of these bad beesies. We're just going to copy this and put it outside of our ship so we can just grab it at any time, because I'm probably going to delete where this one's at. So I just wanted to build one and get it in place. All right, so we'll just plop this guy here. Bless me. There we go. Pink. And we actually can just get rid of the whole floor. So like that would have been a good time for the partial tool to let me cut it, because I could just cut it and move it. Like now I have to like go to, because when you delete it, you can't use that tool to delete. So you have to like, you can only delete on like a single plane. So I can like grab a corner and drag it or whatever, but like I can't just like do it all, which is super annoying. It's giving you this vibes of Hard Space Shipbreaker. I've seen videos of that game. That game actually looks kind of cool. I don't really know what the point of that game is. Like, is it literally just to break ships? Like, it's kind of like a salvaging. You like salvage or something, right? I'm gonna see if I can just cut this thing out and just drop it and cut it. Which is annoying that that's the faster way to do this, but it is what it is. Let's see, it's connected there. Getting lost in the sauce here. All right, here we go. And we just cut that. Good God, I cut the whole ass platform. Oh no. What a mess we've made. Just gonna go ahead and load the last session here. I've worried about doing that so many times. And there I did it. Great, now I have to copy this again. What an inconvenience. Oops. All right. Let's grab this. Paste this back out here again. Oh, I got to turn destruction off. That will always turn off when you come into these games, so just remember that. Drop that there. Hey, sneaky zebra. Yeah, we're getting there. Trying to get the shape down and the interior down. It's a cargo ship first, so the goal is to build around the cargo area. And we'll make it ready to retrofit whenever VS2 drops. VS 2.2 rather, with mechanical blocks, because I want to use mechanical blocks in a lot of cool ways. Okay, that dropped. Okay, so now we're going to not cut our platform. Clutter. Clutter. Okay. So this is, how many blocks deep are we right now? And this is also a time to actually figure out depth. Makes me think there should be ways to like lock blocks so you can't delete them accidentally. Yeah, that could be useful. Also just being more careful. Like whatever your cursor's on like this, that's what it'll cut. I just was not paying attention. I probably like was looking through the hole like that. See that big block selected? I probably just did that and cut it. I just wasn't thinking. I often build in space, so there's usually nothing around me. All right, so depth-wise, this is the time to address depth. Actually, it's not. We can just, there's really nothing going on in the back. I can punch the back at any point. I will actually get rid of these stairs. Maybe I'll just get rid of this whole cockpit thing for now. Let me just get rid of all this. Got it. I'm going to do what feels right rather than having any sort of strict math behind it or anything. Let's get rid of this lift for now. So how many blocks deep are we? Oh, don't need this here either. And finally, let's get this guy out of the way. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7 deep right now. Are you doing the cockpit up top, or if I'm gonna do it up top, up front there? Yeah, I messed around with a bunch of areas. Like pretty much all of these builds over here, these previous versions are messing around with like different sizes and positions of cockpits, including this belly cockpit, which we talked about a bunch earlier. And actually, people seem to like the belly cockpit. Made me think maybe I shouldn't have abandoned this so quickly. It's useful for like, you know, cargo and drop ships having this belly cockpit. But ultimately, I really liked with having like these vertical windows. This is just like really airy and feels good. So I went with up top because I can do at least these smaller slanted windows and just get like pretty good visibility. Some things I want to add too are like deflectors as well. So if for some reason it's going to be used in combat, there can be deflectors, but also there can be a combat version of the build. Like one thing that's really cool, never mind just seeing to leave a small area in front for crew. Yeah, there will be crew quarters up top. Like I think this version, last version sort of showed like there'll be sort of a crew area up here. So yeah, there'll be a spot for survival kit, like an armory kind of thing or whatever. Yeah, there'll be a whole crew area. There'll be like a door to the bridge and stuff like that. Yeah, the belly cock. I even had like ChatGPT. Like, does anybody ever built a belly cockpit ship before? And it couldn't. It found like a random ship from. I think it may have been a random Star Wars ship, but it was like kind of a belly, but it was like a capital class ship, so it wasn't really quite the same thing. But when you're like landing and stuff, the belly makes sense. But you can also just have cameras down there. But yeah, ultimately, I really liked the look of this kind of a cockpit, so went with that one for now. All right, so we're 7 deep. So if I'm just doing some loose math here, I think if we have, maybe we have 5 of these frames, 5 or 6 of the frames. It can actually run all the way to the back. I actually don't need these here either right now. I can move these. I can run all the way to the back here. Oop, don't delete that. That'll make the whole thing fall apart. It's always fun to be like, if I delete this block, is it going to break my whole ship? Sometimes it does. Okay, so that's 8. So if I do one every... Let's visualize. Visualize. Let's just grab... Jeez, why is this not listening to me? There we go. What is going on? I'm trying to control P right now, and it's not letting me select anything on this thing. It's bugging out. There we go. It's weird. It's just like pretending that grid didn't exist for a sec. All right, so just to visualize, I did it like a... So one near the front, one near the back here. Although really it'd be farther back. It'd be like back here. One near the back. How many looks right? Like that far away. So what's great about the undo tool is you can just sort of riff like this, sort of see what happens. See what happens. So that's 6. Is that too many? Maybe that's too many. Or if it should be 5. Means we'll have one kind of in the center. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is our center. Shouldn't we get rid of the other one so we can really center them? There. About there. And about there. I think that spacing probably looks more natural. Structurally, I don't think it needs the 6. Probably just overthinking it again. As the guy does. So it's getting filled with cargo boxes, open area. Yeah, so it'll be useful for whatever you want. Like it'll fit a refinery. So if you want to have a refinery in here, you can fit a refinery. The only thing it doesn't fit is the large cargo container, because the largest one is so big, but it'll fit a refinery. So if you want it to be like a refinery ship, it can be a refinery ship. If you want it to haul cargo, it can haul cargo. It's sort of just like a utility cargo ship. You can use whatever you want. I mean, any good like open cargo ship is sort of adaptable to whatever your needs are. So it'll sort of be a frame, and then people can use it for whatever they want to use it for in survival. Whether they want to use it to lander, like I can park the Renegade in here. You know, whatever suits your fancy. Also, it could be like you could have like a dropship version for like battle scenarios. Like you see, already kind of thinking about where to put guns on it and stuff like that. But if you wanted to deploy like troops or a tank or whatever, you could use it for that as well. Really just a general purpose cargo vessel. I think 5 is probably fine. 6 was too much. But again, this is something I can just change later. I actually don't mind 6 also. Let's do 6, because if I end up getting rid of this back one, it'll put 5 in the main cargo area. So if I have 9 deep, and it's going to be 6 long, gotta do some math here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is 22.5 meters. Boy, too much mathing. How much roughly in between here? Almost a full block. Okay. Actually, sorry, more than a full block in between. Full block plus 2, so 12. So we're going to build this frame out here. Just build one here. We want to come 12 blocks off this thing. Bing. like to build sort of these like templates and then adapt them when they're in there more. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I should put one over here too. I should turn symmetry on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, wait, no. I only need 6 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Math. 6. Okay. Now I should be able to... Oh, I forgot to undo all this stuff before I did that. Shoot skis. Here I was bragging about the undo tool and I didn't even use it. Don't cut the wrong thing. Don't cut the wrong thing. Gonna just quickly quick save. Don't cut the wrong thing. Okay, now I can delete all this business. Oops. Delete the whole floor. I gotta make sure it's centered though too. Okay, the first one's gonna be tricky to place, but I think it'll be easier after the first one. Let's delete the floor area. Going from there to there. Something... Why did it wiggle? Don't know why my ship just wiggled. Oh, did I just break the back half of the ship? No, those are connected by fuel lines. This was just floating? Interesting. All right, I am making this way more difficult on myself than I need to. Now let's grab... Shoot. Sort of lost my reference if I'm centered here or not. What have I done? Need to remove 1 block from 3 blocks. 3 blocks from either side. If I gotta get rid of the landing gear. Boy, I just made this so much harder for myself than I needed to. Let's do 2 things. First of all, we can take that, copy from this block here. Paste it. And centered. Paste it. Do this to get our 6 things. More. Okay. Get rid of that. And get rid of that. Okay, there's our cargo frame. It almost seems so much smaller when you skin it like this. Part of me is thinking it'd just be easier to build around this than it would be to try to stick it in here. All right, this is I forgot to undo this placement again. Like a bozo. How many away from the wall? So it's 4 away from the wall. Okay, it's 4 from the wall. So let's do this. If you ever want to clear a big area, you can also just like paste a bigger block like this, and then it gives you a bigger grid to delete from. Fun fact. Okay, so it's 4 away from the wall. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Look what I did with this. This is stair step. That's not a frame. Oh man, we got our bozo mode on today, everybody. Bozo mode on. So it needs to be 4 away from the wall. This landing gear is going to be in the way for the first one. Let's just bring it in behind it first. Oh, no, this one be red. 4 away from the wall. Cut this because I did not do that right. Is it because... Oh, because I put these on the... I see. I see. Let's find our center on this. You know, it doesn't matter. Do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Delete that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Try it again. Actually, just take this one directly. We'll just paste this one directly into the ship. Our height. Oh, can't paste it. Why can't I paste it? What's blocking? Oh, is this? That shouldn't be affecting it. How come? Can't paste it. Oh, is it this? Probably this. Misbehaving. Just my whole ass cockpit's in the way now, I think. That's okay, the floor can just be one lower, I guess. Can make up for it vertically, downwards. Okay. That's not centered. It is one block off. Apparently I needed to be 5 blocks. Out. Biscuits. Biscuits. As high as we can go, as high as we can go. Okay. Now that should be centered. Well, I wanted to make the cockpit maybe 1 block higher, but now the cargo area just moved 1 block lower, so big difference. Okay, so we got that. Let's grab this thing now here. You actually already have it copied. Just need to paste it a bunch of times. Let's get rid of these blocks. Get rid of these. Clear to drop in a bunch of these now. Sure looks like it. All right. So we got 1. Got 2. 3. 4. The heck did I get? I guess I didn't really think about my size too much when I did 6 before. The landing gear now is back here is in the way. Guess we're doing 5 for now. It's fine. Need to grab it from here. And just paste that guy. There. Is that 1 too low? It's 1 too low. The top of that should meet with that. Okay. Try again. Realizing that my little cross hatching might not match doing it this way. Actually, it looks right. It's fine. Maybe? No, I need to grab it from the different angle. Let me grab it from... See, the center one here is inside. The center ones here are the tips. Grab it from the tips. Which one can I grab from the tip? This one. Grab it from here. And that should go... Just want it to be symmetrical. Maybe here? That's right. Yeah, it looks too tall. Dang it, one too low again. It's high, but now my... Why is that weird? The hatching is like different. Like this one, it's higher, and that one, it's lower. Be our little secret. Just be our little secret. It's gonna bug me. The floor is a little different too then. I mean, they don't all need to be perfectly the same, but it's still gonna bug me. All right, so that's sort of our cargo space area. Looking more like a ship on the inside now. And if it's not enough, you just delete whatever you don't want. All right. And you should be able to throw in your refineries. Refinery fits. Oh, goody. How close to our floor are we? About level with our floor at the top here. Which I wanted the floor to drop up top, so maybe the cockpit will still come up a block. To be determined. At least we got the floor in. Oh, so now we can add in an actual floor. Do a couple things. Add in sort of a... Just trying to get, since this is 12 in between, I need to have a little spacer to get a grate in here. See how great looks in between these things. See if a grate looks great or not. Like a grate. Oh. I guess we didn't really math it out. The width too much, did we? We'll see if our frame gets in the way for conveyor purposes or not as well. I'm just going to use this floor as a placeholder for now. Can change it later. I don't like to get too much in the details of one thing, because if like I have to do something else, like where like, oh, now I decided I want to have it wider or narrower or whatever, I don't have to lose all my work I did. All right. The beginnings of a cargo area. Now I need to build the access back up to the top. So while the main cockpit area might come up one, the main floor is going to look the same. See, it's times like when I'm making floors like this where I'm really excited for that just like plain panel we're getting in 2.2. Because I don't care for the look of these when they're gridded out like this. I keep it yellow for now. I like to just like, if something's not permanent, I like to keep it yellow. Just as like saying, hey, this is an area you still got to work on. And I like to get things more colored as they're actually coming together. So we had the stairs kind of back here before. It's going to get in the way. Where did we put them before? They were in front of the landing gear. I feel like that takes up some precious cargo space, though. Because these thrusters are not going to stay here. These are just temporary, so I don't have to really build with those in mind. Let me just move those now. Get the visual clutter out of our way. Those are yellow. This roof is not symmetrical. Okay, now we can make the stairs come from behind it here. Not that the crew area needs to be that big, but take it nicely, Captain. Watching your process has been both fun and educational. Got to go to bed and lie awake thinking about trusting for an hour. sounds good. Thanks for hanging out, Chromus, or Comus. Threw an R in there. Yeah, I figured I gotta build this thing out anyway. Might as well try to stream some stuff with it. Maybe somebody will get something out of it. So this is a pretty big crew area up here now. If it goes all the way back to this back truss here. That seems like maybe it's overkill, but there will be... Door probably can't fit in here right now. Sure cannot. There'll be a door out here. Let's just put a fake door in. Fake door. Like, this is probably a big enough area to do everything it needs to do. Like, it's not gonna be like a sleeping quarters situation or anything. It's a work vehicle. Maybe just like a bathroom and survival kit. But I guess the reason we would extend it back farther is just to get a little extra cargo space. It's a cargo ship first. So it would behoove us to have a larger cargo area for our cargo ship first design. That is its purpose. So I'm going to go ahead and just copy these stairs from over here. Or actually, how high up do they go? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, yeah, I got to redo my math. That math worked for a different level floor than what we have now. Those first steps are just sort of getting us level. So here. And then... here. That brings us to here. That's quite a bit lower, actually. Yeesh. 2, 4, 6. Needs to come up 6. I need like a half stair. But that might be about the height of a small piston anyway, and there's going to be a lift here to take you up to the top. Or the floor just gets level with this grading. That'd be quite a hazard. Okay, either way, need to make up 6 tall. So where's the center of our ship? There. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if my stairs are on this, symmetry throws me off. Stair. Hell. Stair. And we should be level. No, still 1 low. You got 1 more. It's a pretty sizable staircase just to get to the... just need like a half stair. The floor was a little bit smoother before. Could be a ramp, I guess. It's just going to push it back pretty far. Losing a lot of depth here with this, just to get the staircases working. Huh. I wonder if there's a way I could compensate, like 3 stairs on the bottom and 3 stairs to the top. Kind of split the difference. Also extend the stairs a little farther forward. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 is our floor. Just seems excessive. That's what it seems like. All right, here we go. So now we're level. That's just a big staircase to get to the staircase. I mean, really the only alternative is to ramp it. 90 ramp is pretty this is, no, it'd have to be the long slope ramp because that's ridiculous. You couldn't get up that. For a long slope ramp, we'd lose even more space. Really just thinking the lift is the way to go. Just screw the stairs, just have the lift, but we won't have the lift for a while, so we need a way to get up there. Ramp it up. I think it's not important right now. That's what I think. I think what is important right now is forward progress. Is that our floor here? See, the stairs will come out up here. We'll center this because we'll have a door up here. Let's just get a platform centered here. Build backwards from this. The thing that's weird about the stairs is it has this like this last step thing is kind of awkward. Like technically it should be like it should connect one higher, but then you have this like weird step that's like sticking out higher. It's very strange. I think when I lower it like that, maybe I can actually even get the whole platform down one. I can. Huzzah. Saved us one. Saved us a big awkward step. Just put a second stand here in case I accidentally delete something. The platform doesn't fall down. Or did I save us a step? Wait, that could actually even go down one also. Might only need 5 stairs. See, it's that little extra step I was talking about that's sort of awkward. Count it, though. All right, I can lower it one more. Sick. Well, that's good, because it was 6 was too many. Now I'm going to be down quite a bit. Most excellent. There's a hole there. I just seen something real quick. Oh, wait a minute. No, I'm going down one more. Ha. Okay, why is it not holding down right? Why is it not deleting the grid? There we go. Okay. Then we can have our OSHA certified railing here. Somehow, just sort of putting it down here just so I remember to keep it in here. And the lift will go here, so we'll have a lift that'll take us up to here. And for now, I'm just sort of signifying that with just a pillar. Ooh. That's our lift for all intents and purposes. That pillar is centered. Okay. And I don't know exactly how tall the pistons are going to be. I couldn't find one of the small... I couldn't find a small grid. I know there's a small grid image somewhere in the blog, but I couldn't find the small grid image of the pistons. But I need to know how tall they are, because these ones are massive. Like, this is not going to be useful on this grid. But I know they have a 50 centimeter one that I'm guessing is like 2 or 3 blocks tall. Just couldn't find the image. If somebody knows where I can find the image, that would be super useful. I looked in like so many dev blogs and just couldn't come across it. Okay, so that's figured out. So we got our cargo area. Got access up to our crew quarters. Well, there will be survival kits and such. So that's sort of our interior space. So now that that's dialed in, we can start figuring out the outside of the ship a little bit better here. Like, where's thrusters going to go? Where the landing gear going to go? Technically, don't even really need to use the big landing gear. Can use the like a bunch of the smaller ones. But I kind of want to just wait. I kind of want to just reserve more space than I need, so that way, like, when 2.2 comes out with mechanical blocks, I have all the room to work with. Because even for the front here, I'm going to need some room for, like, pistons and stuff to open the front gate. And right now I'm seeing that this landing gear is kind of in the way, so I think all the gear might just need to get punched out a little bit. Got a name for it yet? Giving me Toad vibes. Yeah. Also, I see you got your YouTube chat working now. Splash damage. Nice. I don't have a name for it yet. It does kind of give... When I was first messing with the belly lander one, because it was going to have a belly cockpit, the top was just going to be all armor. I was kind of... I think it was given... The vision I had for it was kind of getting turtley. Am I not turtley enough for the Turtle Club? But yeah, I don't have a name for it yet. It does give Toad vibes, though, for sure. Sort of that low, broad look to it. Very toady. We'll see when it takes its final form more. It's going to look ridiculous for a while when I can't fold the landing gear. I could even just make the landing gear already folded up so they're not sticking out. That just makes it less useful for everything else. Oops, I don't have a gyro in here. This thing's rotating on its own. Oh boy. Oh boy. Where is the engineering area going to be? Let's just put it onto the... Let's just put it somewhere for now. Oh. Be sure to ensure you have all the flying stuff. Message retract. Why did your message get retracted? Can I see what you... Or did you delete it? Weird. I've never seen a message retracted. But I did add in like a stream elements thing to it. I also started messing with stream elements redeems, but I don't know if they work yet. I don't have a ton set up yet. Okay, so speaking of gyros, I need to have a spot sort of like an engineering area. So I'm thinking the back just gets pushed out a little bit. Oh, but it could also exist. Gyros could exist. All of the that stuff could exist out here in the wing areas too. That's why I almost considered just rebuilding from the frame itself. Wait a minute, are we not centered? 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. Oh no, I just didn't have that in there. Whew, I was gonna say, no way. Wait, is that also the only thing holding this whole thing in? I probably should add some more reinforcement here. If I deleted that one block, I think this whole frame would have fallen out. Wait a minute. That was only 4. Oh no. Man, I am tripping. Okay. Gonna start adding some whites to this thing. Let's just add some here just for initial flavor. Oh, but we don't have a battery. Battery should be somewhere where you can access the battery swap, so that way you can quickly recharge. Just throw them here for now. Lights aren't on. Oh, I guess because the ship's off. I hear it helps to turn the ship on. Also, let me add some railing here. This is very dangerous. Soup's dangerous. There we go. Now I don't have to be so careful on this corner. Here we go. We got lights. Cargo area is lit. Ship's done. Oh, I hate being on medium graphics because the ray tracing does not work. Cool. Coming along. It's coming along. Okay, so we have to figure out where our engineering stuff's going to be. For gyros. I really only need gyros, I guess. If the batteries can kind of exist in this area, in the back here somewhere, swap easily, or even the front swap easily. Gyros can just live... I guess the gyros could also live in a similar vein. I don't really think they need to be accessible for any reason. Can I just place it in there? That ain't right. Let's do that for now, just so I can at least get rid of this one. Get him a crew area. I did like that in the original design. You had to kind of walk up into the cockpit. So I will eventually raise this up just one block. Boy. I gotta just figure out, I'm trying to decide what the next phase is. I gotta add some armor to the bottom of this thing. How low is it if I just add in a wall of... Raise this up a little bit. If a guy were to just put an easy floor on here. What does this look like if I walk under it. Can't walk under it now. Not with the landing gear this high. But you just lower the landing gear a little bit more. It's not a big deal. Certainly don't want to make it too thin just for the sake of it being a certain height, so. So we just got to figure out how to armor away from the cockpit here and how much protection the cockpit should have by default. And if it even needs to be 3 wide or not. I mean, I certainly don't think I need 3 seats up here. Seems like overkill. I liked the 2 wide one because it sort of felt like you could see across out the other side a little easier. Where I feel like when it gets to 3, it oops, I just got my character. I just teleported my character to a broken spot. Seems like you're in a bit of a pickle there, buddy. Like the 2 feels right. Like that little narrow windscreen. I think the 3 window is... We only added the 3rd just because we were adding an extra row in. We just had it there. The 3 is too much. Like you're going to be on this guy and you're like trying to point something out, and the guy on the far right's like, what are you pointing at? You're really going to have 4-player multiplayer at first. I feel like just a pilot and co-pilot is probably enough. So let's just take this guy, copy this, like so, and then we're going to delete this. This guy. Oh, centering it's going to be fun. I guess that block there is our center. I had a back one. Oh, okay. Why did it... Let me... Okay, I see. I can't undo that. That's okay. I can cut this. Let's just delete these. This thing centered. And I'm not sure what these are about. Let's get rid of those. Get our cockpits, control seats. Get them as far forward as we can. Okay. And then I lost all of my side detail. I don't want to build that again, so I'm going to just copy it first. Then we'll grab our... Oops. Make a little row here level with it. Wait, are we down one farther? Something's going to be off, but... Figure that out when we get there. Gosh dang it. Copy too much stuff. Grab the other side. Nothing like a little retrofitting. Wait, those aren't even symmetrical on this build. What the hell? That's a... Yeah, what the heck? What did we do here? Guy. So I got to figure out how I'm going to greeble around the cockpit here. And let's get rid of that. Add in these. And then fill in with a little detail block. Okay. It actually doesn't... The thing I was curious to figure out if, like, having it that much narrower was going to make it look bad or not from a proportion scale. It actually looks fine. I don't think it looks too small. Oh, what are those blocks? Here they come. Smash. Where did you come from? What are you guys all building right now? What's in your itinerary for stuff to build? You know, looking at it, I kind of didn't hate the 3 wide, but but it didn't make sense inside. And screw having a control seat with a post up the center of this window. That just sucks. Nobody likes that. What's kind of fun with these buttons too is like if you're like coming into this thing and you're on foot or whatever, you can like just quickly press these buttons. So before you get in your pilot seat, you can like, if you know when to like make sure all the doors were closed, you can have a button to close all doors. You know, turn on landing lights or whatever. Whatever you want to do, you can sort of have these sort of quick program buttons in here. It's too bad you can't press them when you're in the pilot seat. I mean, you have your toolbar anyway. Why would you like press those other than just for fun? But it's fun to think you could just like come and press a bunch of these things when you're getting into the pilot seat to sort of start the ship up and stuff. Like you could even get out, and one of these could just be like a power button or something. So I usually turn the ships off a lot, although I shouldn't because I need the light now. Keep it on, I guess. I'll just turn dampeners off. Turn off my dampeners. Just posted the thing you're working on Discord, rolling base for SU1. Was it the oh yeah, here we go. That is in fact a rolling base. Make it a little bigger here. Big basin. Oh, seems so little. This reminds me of some of the stuff. Splash damage kind of builds some vehicles like base vehicles like this. Cool little rover. Little buggy. That's fun. I like that. Nice. Lacking a cockpit in any form of interior. Yeah. They almost need like a capital class cockpit of some kind. All right. We're making a mess here. Proper mess. So how are we going to get our profile away from this? Is this just going to be flat? Or do I keep building these angles up? I can keep building these angles up, I guess. Let's Let's just see what this looks like if I do this. Take that. Oop, it's one higher. Oh, that's right. I forgot I was thinking about moving the cockpit up one higher also. I should probably do that sooner than later. Let me just take this slope to its natural conclusion, where it matches up with the cockpit, and see if we can greeble our way out of our cockpit geometry. That's probably high enough, so bring the cockpit up 2. Not too high. Probably doesn't need to slope up that high. Once I actually get into the nitty-gritty of greeble in this thing, I probably will swap a lot of these big blocks out actually for like smaller blocks like this, and that gives me more like interior space to kind of fit components and things. I see a hole here that would fill nicely with one of these. Oh, not quite. Place that in there? Can't. Dang. Actually, if I lower down... Yeah, we're not lowering, we're raising eventually. I'm just going to undo all that stuff because that's going to change here. Diggrok know how to read. What I do? What did I not read, Ire? Read for me. Also, hello. It's going to be kind of tricky to transition through this here, especially to the front gate. Could add like a... do like a venting kind of thing in the front here. You missed a message when you joined. Oh, I guess I did. I didn't see when you joined. When did you join? I don't even see your thing. I'm sorry. I don't see the message. I'm looking for it. I'm sorry. Let's see. This was event thing. How would it be angled? Just riffing here. Just riffing. Let's just put it in there for now like that, just to have a loose idea. Oops, sorry to close this window. Blocked all my stuff. I did set up one of those. I did set up a redeem thing. I haven't tested to see if it works yet. I've only made one redeem. I don't know if it works or not. I got to. I have to add points to you. I should have my Streamlabs thing open so I could add points quickly. Let's see. Oh, also, what's the Streamlabs tool you use? So like when people with YouTube channels join or whatever, you have their links going. So like when they say hello the first time, it like shows the links. What tool is that? Because I would love to get that set up to help promote everybody's stuff. Six stone. I can add. Here, let me add stone. Let me open up. I think I have it bookmarked here. Because I can add points to people. But I only have one redeem at the moment. Let me see. Store, right? Where is it at? Chat. Oh man, I forget where it's at. I got to get better with Streamlabs. I used to use it a lot back in the day. I can't even find my this looks different from the last time I was in it. Cloudbot modules, shoutouts. Cloudbot. Here we go. Modules. Oh, shoutouts what you did. Okay. And then let's see. In here, I can add points to people that are in chat. There's a way. There's a way. User management. For YouTube, you have to change the command of the actual YouTube link. Okay. Let's see. Where's the... Here we go. I'm going to add points to all viewers. I'm giving everybody 100 points. All right. Now you have 100 points. My one redeem should work now. Ideally. I know the redeems can be kind of finicky sometimes. If you leave the shout out to default, it will just shout out your channel link because YouTube's API. Oh, okay. Gotcha. I'll mess with that. Gotta get the shout outs going. I do have a button just for you, though. Let me press my button just for you. It's your special button. I just programmed that one onto my stream deck itself. Actually, I have a couple buttons, but they on my stream deck, but they're finicky about, like, you have to like select the stream that's active like every time I stream. I gotta figure that out. That's a operator issue for sure. Okay. So we can kind of transition out of this one way or another. Save that for Greeble Day. So now we got to kind of get to this mess here. Figuring out our thrust replacement and fuel. So something I need to figure out with fuel. And to really do this, I got to make sure everything's conveyored. Let's do a quick conveyor sketch up here. Let's quickly just get rid of... I need to test how many fuel tanks is actually appropriate. Because I want to know how fast I'm going to run through fuel. I'm sure there's some actual math I could run on this, but, you know. Ain't nobody got time for that. Let me turn off infinite energy so I can make sure things are piped. Oh, but I don't have oops. O2 gen yet. Oh my gosh, I'm miskeying like crazy over here. Okay, so that's all piped. That's all piped. These are piped, at least to that, but not to everything else. Let's turn off symmetry for a sec so I don't break my build. Oh! Shoot. No big deal. Let's get a T here. Well, I guess since I already broke it, let's just break that side too. Then let's turn symmetry on. And we'll cut this guy. Paste it back onto there. Oops, I think I grabbed it from the wrong one. Let's grab it from this one. Actually, I can just... This is not that hard to just rebuild. Not that hard to just rebuild that. So 3, 3. Actually, let's get rid of that so I can turn symmetry on. Once I have an actual conveyor system, I can actually test things like fuel capacities and such. Actually, flip these around. Hydrogen goes on better. Symmetry's off again. My gosh. On a combo here. Okay, so this should all be conveyed to that, and then I can connect all these together. That's right, that doesn't place there. Oh, create. Yeah, I know. I can't do the full building like you do in the survival. I just love the creative tools way too much. Landing gear's in the way. Shoot skis. Shoot skis. It looks like that's welded there. So I think if I delete this, it shall stay. Yes, it will. So we'll come down here. This does not need to be pretty. It just needs to work for now. Save pretty for later. Okay. And then let's just connect these two together just to have a full system here. Symmetry works better in creative. Is it? Shouldn't it be the same? I didn't realize it was different from creative, from the main. I thought it was the same mechanics. What do I know, though? I mostly build in creative. All right, let's just add these vertical thrust here just for now to just get that going. Okay, so we have that. Now I'm just going to need some O2 gen just to fill this thing up really quickly. Let's see, those are small conveyors on the side. Well, we'll just use the big ones for now. Whatever. We're just trying to test proof of concept here. Okay, so now if I turn off infinite energy, the O2s should be filling up my tanks, and then I can turn off creative, and then I can see how much fuel this thing burns. I'll also take on a load just to see. No, it's finicky sometimes. This issue's only wanting to work on welded blocks. Oh. Huh. That is kind of annoying. Okay, we're getting fuel. Let's go ahead and just add on a bunch of these just to get this thing really filling. That'll fill her up quick. $38, $39, $40, $41. Okay. And it doesn't need to be totally full. We just want to see our general capacity. So that's good enough. Let's go ahead and delete these. Okay. So now we can turn off creative global, and this should cause us to burn fuel. So 62 fuel. Oops, dampers on. Let's pick up a load. Just pick up another one of our ships here. Try to grab it. Is there a flat one? This one might be easier to grab. It's a little flatter. I want to get it centered so that way I can not fly around all wonky donkey. Already at 61% fuel. See, if I have my belly cockpit I was talking about, be a breeze to pick this up. Oh boy. Oh boy. It's actually kind of fun, like when you have on more weight, because like, you know, I just press spacebar and it rotates like that, but you press forward and you go back, so you sort of figure out how much you sort of have to like provide vertical lift with the rest of the lift. It's kind of fun. 59%. So this definitely goes through fuel at a decent pace, which is just to inform us how many more fuel tanks we need to add. Oh boy, I am vertical. Give it some gas here. Really give it some gas. Oh boy, oh jeez, oh god. We're flipping. Doesn't burn too fast. Let's pretend we're actually transporting. See when it, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Doing some crazy things. This is why you have damage off. Do a barrel roll. It does a, I don't know if I can do a barrel roll. Try. I can do flips really well. Oh, jeez. Yeah, I can't, I don't have enough gyro to do a barrel roll. I don't think. Even though strangely, the amount of gyros doesn't impact how fast your ship actually rolls. Here we go, here we go, here it comes. Kind of. Doesn't want to do it. Does not want to do it. There's a lot of forces at play here, it seems. We're in danger. We're not burning fuel too fast. I think it probably could use a few more fuel tanks, but I don't think I'm too nervous about running out of fuel. To think of this in survival and crash many times. Yeah. I remember there was one stream you were landing with I think of the full, I think of the barge full with Twitchy, and there was you were nervous if you had enough thrust or not to get back down. I cannot land. I'm just gonna turn dampers off because I cannot get this thing go down. Granted, whatever I haul is probably going to mostly be inside the ship, but it can certainly be used as a tug. Oh, I just realized as soon as I was going to turn dampers on, I was like, it's going to do some weird stuff. It's going to do some weird stuff. This is so weird. I can only imagine what this looks like from the ground. Actually, I can. Okay, let's get this level first. Okay. Let's do this. Oh, it's moving. Let's get to my person. Where's my guy at? Where's my... What's happening? Why can't I switch to my... Oh, because I turned creative off. Wait. Oh, yeah, I'm stuck in spectator camera because I'm not in creative mode. All right, well... Gosh dang it. I gotta catch my ship now. Okay. Let's just land. You know what? I can just detach this. Let me flip to this ship. Let me turn it on. This was our side-loading cargo ship when we were playing around with a bunch of form factors. Yeah, it does look like a swing. Okay, come to me. Come to me. Oh my gosh, this is so hard. Like if you got out of your ship like this in survival, there's no way without clipping through the grids you could get to your ship again. Come on. I cannot get in. It just keeps moving. This is a nightmare. Okay, I got it. Turn it on. Oh, but I don't have infinite energy on. Infinite energy. All right. Let's just stop this game, because this is a pain in the butt. Disconnect. Rev started playing Space Engineers 2. Fly this bad boy back. This is another form factor with a side loading cargo area. You actually can get a decent sized space and a little lower profile, but this was a lot shorter clearance too. This would also function pretty well as like a drop ship. But I won't get too crazy with like tactical drop ships until we actually have something to tactical drop ship into. I do envision making a lot of scenarios though where there will be drop shipping into like a battlefield, and having like a pilot that's that's how you respawn, is everyone, as you die, you spawn back at a base and you get like a resupply ship every now and like a drop ship, and you have to come back in on the drop ship. All right, land this puppy down. Okay, so probably need a few more fuel tanks. I did remove 4 of them for this test. There was 4 more fuel tanks in the side here that I removed just to put these engine thrusters in, because these thrusters would be 1 farther out. But we needed to at least get figure out where our conveyors were going to be. And with this extra gap in the middle too, I could throw in some fuel tanks. I think this also might be where the gyros will live. Off to eat. Let me know next time you're going live so I can raid you. That was my first message. Oh, that was what your first message was. Yeah, I thought about messaging you that when you were streaming, because I wasn't sure exactly when I was going to stream until you were already live. But I didn't want to. I try not to like talk about the fact that I'm going to stream in other people's streams, because I don't want to like pull people away from the current person's stream. So I thought about saying something, but I was like, that's okay. It's on me for not planning ahead better. But I'll definitely let you know next time. I'm trying to figure out a better schedule situation to stream more regularly and stuff like that, since that's obviously helpful for people to know if you're going to stream regularly. So, but enjoy your meal, good sir. Next time you're here, maybe I'll have the Streams Labs shoutouts thing set up. Okay, so currently we cannot. Oh, we turn creative mode back on. Ooh. Currently we can't walk under the ship with the current landing gear height. So landing gear's got to come up probably about 2. One of the kickers is seeing where my ramps will come down at, because we're going to have ramps. Little personnel ramps that come down. Probably about where I put my batteries. So that was a great spot for those. Put some batteries over here. For now, get rid of these. I guess that should have been a consideration with how wide I make these as well. Knowing there's going to be a ramp. I was modeling it with the stairs, but I think the actual ramp might just be like flat, just like a smooth ramp. Let's see. Put it about there. Actually, our little girder things won't get in the way. Our little trusses, they'll be just all right. You can come up in between them here, and it'll fold up. Maybe fold up. I guess that'll get in the way there, but we're still. That's an issue when we actually have rotors and stuff. But I know definitively the landing gear has to come down 2. So let's move these down 2. Can I move them out any? Looks like I can. I can make it a little wider, give me some space. Looks like I can get rid of this stuff here. Okay, now I can move them down 2 and out 1. Down 2 and out 1. So it needs to be placed under this block. Under that block. Like to place little stops so I know where to put things easier. Just lose my angle. Can't see it very well. Gonna have to just trust that when it turns blue, it's gonna fit. If it turns blue. Is there something else blocking me? Is that thruster? Oh, that thruster is blocking me. It's vertical thruster, which that does not actually need to stay exactly in that spot. Man. Just one thing gets in the way of another. I mean, I could just, I guess, leave it as in as it was before. We just lose a little bit of clearance on the door, and I think we want as much clearance of the door as we can. But I mean, there's 4 wide, even not full width. So I mean, can't imagine you'd be putting anything really wider than 4 in here. But they did have to come down too, so at least they're 2 now. Let's move these back ones down 2. These ones come out. Are they centered too? This one's kind of centered with the girder. This one's only sticking out by 1. Not that these have to be symmetrical in that regard. So these come down 2. So let's delete that. Put this there. I think that was our spot. Yeah. I think the gear might shift a little once I'm actually putting mechanical blocks to it. This one will just go up and down. The front one might go forward, but this one will just be simple up and down. Oops. Oh, I accidentally deleted a conveyor system. Whoops. Yeah, because sometimes when you delete a block that's big, it clears everything in the block area, not just the block itself. Which is a little annoying sometimes. Case in point. Won't this fit? Oh. How? Oh, because these were T's. Man, I really broke this thing. There we go. Now it should paste in. There we go. Easy fix. Okay, let's land it now, see if it's level. Looks level. Yeah, I think it's level. Now we can walk under it again. Got our ramp. Oh, head hits that. Interesting. So maybe the stairs come out a little wider. And I think this really does make the case for the ramp versus stairs, because the ramp we can sort of fine tune exactly the height, whereas the stairs, like, they come out, even they're level with the ground right now, but they come out 1 below the floor, which I guess you can still step up into that, but let's see, let's lift it up again. I just kind of want to figure out where everything's, I like to figure out where everything's going to be and then sort of find our greeble from there. So that's good there. It just needs to come out. Did it just delete more than I wanted it to? Sure did. It deleted this whole... See, this was annoying. Like, I just want to delete the stairs, but it's going to delete this whole corner because the stairs... There are bounding boxes in there. That's just so annoying. Just something else you gotta fix. So let's see, this was this off-white gray. Let's say that this extends out to here. Our stairs are 5 wide, so we actually need this to be a half block. I really can't wait till we get mechanical blocks, though. That's going to be so sweet. says Q1, Q2. So that could mean anything. Let's see. It needed to be level with that, so I need to add in a little catcher there. Yep, it's level. That should be out of the way of that little girder thing. Okay, that should do it. Let's land this. Make sure it's not resting on the stairs yet. Sweet. Should be able to walk up into here. Get a little step there. These things will touch up a little better later. Is that too big of a step to get up in there? It is. I mean, what if the stairs are just... It's going to delete random stuff again. So I didn't fix that broken thing. I can have the stairs just be a step off the ground. Plus, chances are you're not going to be landing on anything level anyway. When these are on a like a hinge, they can just open until they stop. Like the hinge can just always be trying to open, and it'll just only go as far as it can, but it won't be forcing it so hard that it breaks. Okay. So now we got a ramp in and out. Sweet. Dial on the placement a little better later, but that's the area it will land. My batteries are off, so my lights are off. Keep turning the ship off. I'm just so used to turning these things off when I land them, because when I have like a bunch lined up over there, it's just can't enter the control seat. Not this bug. There we go. Oh. There we go. Now we got lights. Coming along. Okay, so we got our landing gear heights figured out. Hopefully this has the clearance to... Does on both sides, so that should just be able to piston up. So it's going to have pistons on it straight up. I might not do the two in the front. Like, I could just have dedicated landing gear that point front to like attach things to, because there might be times where you want to land and also have something mounted to the front of the ship. But also, it doesn't need to be a tugboat either. It just would happen to work that way if it did. The front will be sort of like gates. I did have a gate mocked up before that was closed. Front's actually got to extend a little bit. It's not where our front's going to land. Actually might be able to get another one of our girders attached to the front of this thing. One thing I'm interested to see with, like, so when I'm pistoning this landing gear up into the ship, it'll be interesting to see like how this bounding box area, if it gets in the way or not. I guess if I can place that, it probably won't. Doesn't have to come up that far. Let's see, because I'm wondering if I place, if I can place one of these in front of that. Get out of this. Get out of camera. Whoops. Also, these little grates in the front, that was just, I was trying to visualize the shape to see if the front ramp, it could either be just like a straight wall, or it could be like sort of like have a little half angle coming down, and the other one sort of folds up into it, so it could sort of make like a drop door kind of thing. It would allow for more like internal clearance if that was a thing. But we'll see. Oops. Let's copy this. Will this just strap in here without needing to modify anything? No. Because of this crap in the front, which we don't need. So I was just saying how useless it was. Ha! Clamped on. Nice. Yeah, I think that actually works pretty good because we can sort of build the front armor kind of around that frame. Sort of depends where our door's at, I guess. Our door was not going to be that far out, though. Our door was kind of going to be... We had it sort of... door actually was that far out initially. Depends if you want any, like, armor to protecting it. Like, we have, pulling up the reference imagery here. Like, sort of having it recessed a little. If it's, that's more if it's going to be a drop ship. Having it recessed can sort of be useful for some protection, but again, we're sort of building it for cargo first, and then a combat version will sort of come after. Functionally, it works better if it's closer to the front. Plus, that would extend our cargo area even longer, because I could add another floor in here. If I were to do this, do that there. That there. And this was a darker gray. Is it that color gray? No, darker. That color? Yeah. That just made our cargo bay even bigger. For better or worse. Okay, so if we were to simulate our rotors, the rotors look to me from their preview images like they're probably, so they're 50 centimeters, but they probably look 75 meters tall. I don't think they're 100 meters tall. Sorry, centimeters, 100 centimeters tall. Go to about the knee. So if I were to plan for rotors, I think if I plan them so the blocks are 3 tall, that goes up to about the crotch. I'm just like, maybe it is just one cube. Either way, I'm going to plan for it to be 3, maybe 4, just for when I'm sort of just trying to guess where a rotor is going to be. So if rotor was here, we'll have this be a, say, let's just have it be yellow. So we'll say that's our rotor. Is there something else we could design just for the sake of it looking like a rotor? I mean, I guess the small connector kind of gives rotor vibes. Well, yeah, so the small connector is a square. So does that look like it's the same? Looks a little taller. Doesn't matter at this point. I wonder if there's a color I could make the rotor so I know what I'm looking for later. At least not be yellow, because yellow is my like temporary color. So everything yellow gets turned to a different color later. It's also fun sometimes just to like really quickly see what it looks like in another color. Like, let's paint this thing white. How are we looking? That's just a white ship. How about a gray? That's just a gray ship. It almost looks better yellow. So the rotor's coming off this. I probably want to give it actually one block of space. And maybe a little wider. Yeah, the door could be wider. So let's go. here, and then we'll put the rotor. Actually, I really don't hate using the connector. That makes it very clear where the rotor's happening. I could even just use 2 of these face to face, and then if the rotor's smaller, then it's smaller. But that's like pretty clear that it actually kind of reads as a rotor. So if it ends up being we don't get rotors for many months, at least it looks like the door is supposed to work like a door. And the door will be, I was using just these grates as a placeholder. The door would actually be a solid door, but they could be grates on the back side, so when it opens, it's sort of like a grate surface, but then the underside can just be a mix of regular blocks. Then I can add in just a really quick Greeble effect. So that can fold down. That might be kind of steep. So maybe it should be taller. I was thinking there'd be sort of a 2-stage gate like the, I have an illustration of it. I think I may have illustrated it. Maybe sketched somewhere else. I wonder if there's an example here. I guess like basically I'm going to have the, this like top flap where these like half grates are. I was thinking that would sort of like fold to open, and then the other gate would come out from underneath of it. So that way it would sort of work as like a safety mechanism. That way, if the these rotors get blown out or something, or like they just become disabled, there's like a secondary thing holding the door shut, so the door doesn't like flop open. No right or wrong answer. Just a placeholder for now. I think for the sake of ease, though, because I'll probably delete it every now and then to test flying stuff into it, I'll just keep it like this for now. I'll just throw these on top. Quick gate. How does that feel when you're in here and it's closed? There could potentially even be separate gates. Like maybe you just drop one side. You might not always need both open, but I don't really see a benefit to that. You'd have to have a second rotor down here, and you'd have to have something filling in the gaps. I don't think it would feel right. Wouldn't be right. Oh, before I forget, I broke these over here. Only because the game forced me to, I should say. Let's grab this. Looks like here to there. All the way down. Which way? Oops, turn symmetry off because that's not going to paste right. There we go. And then do it over here. If I can fit in there. All right. That was going to bug me if I didn't fix that. When I know something's broken somewhere. Okay. Coming along, coming along. Drink some water. Okay, so landing gear might fit there. This little crossbar won't be there. In fact, we can get rid of that now because our floors are connected. Let's get rid of this. And this will be pistons. And how far up does it have to come? It has to come up 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7? Oh, no. Yeah. Come up 8 blocks. So it needs to come up 8 blocks. So we need vertical clearance of 8 blocks. Let's see. This was a safety block. I have backups, I believe. Yeah, I got 2 backups. Okay. Oops. So that can go. That can go. See, there's 5 right now. It comes up. It needs more room than that. Needs to have 2, 4, 6. One more. So that's the clip. So this has to come all the way up to here, which means our pistons will have to be above that, which actually is going to get pretty tight because I was hoping to have a double piston setup so one could absorb shock and then the other could be the extension, but I think I'm only going to be able to get one small grid piston in here. Definitely not a big one because the large grid ones are massive. They start at 5 meters tall. That's a little too big. But nonetheless, regardless, I have to just simulate our piston here. These are my placeholder pistons. Can't even place 2 of these. What's all this? Just random greeble. Goodbye, random greeble. That's the other thing too, is we probably will have to, I'll probably have to like redo some of the spacing and stuff when the blocks come out. What's in the way of this one? That one. Oh, but that's a transition block. Oh, jeez. Wait on that one. We'll just put it here for now. I don't know how many we'll need. Don't know how strong they're going to be. And we'll just color the landing gear and say that that's going to be roughly accurate. I guess I should have colored these pistons too. So you'll be able to see the landing gear open and close from the inside, which means that this would not be, I guess it won't be airtight anyway because you have a front gate. I don't really know how that's all going to work, but it's whatever. It's if like this up here will have an airlock. So I think the important thing is that this be airtight. So this will all be airtight up here and be sort of the crew area. I think if, as you come down here, you're just going to have to just assume you're going to need to mask up. Then I don't have to worry about having this airtight because the landing gear is going to have some cool effects and stuff to it. And same with back here. We know that this is roughly going to be our gear. Let's piston this as well. This could be a big piston because these are just going to go straight down. And I think it seems like I have the room for it. I could just do a big piston here. But the look of the little pistons would be nice. Let's actually color these the same as the front one. Maybe a little lighter gray. Okay, so those will extend down through the armor. I was hoping, I don't think it's going to work out with this build. I guess it still could. I was hoping to do like a landing gear style thing where like when it opens, this would be the whole of the armor. So landing gear is like hidden, and then when it pushes down, this like armor will like rotate out. I think that would be super cool. Cool little effect. I don't know if there's a reference in here that does something like that. Kind of like you'd see like an airplane sort of their landing gear opens up with those little like doors that flap open or whatever. I don't know if there's a good example here. Kind of like that, how it sort of opens in that one. But we'll see. Everything is subject to change. Work in progress. Need one of these. Okay, the stairs are probably not the final greeble, but they are kind of they'll probably be there position-wise, so I could paint those up. Just to start communicating to myself what sort of needs work and what's good to go. Okay. We're getting there. We're getting there. I'm not gonna lie, that once these big landing gear folding. Oh, you know what? It won't be able to fold up past that. That's gonna be super in the way. Super duper in the way. Ding. Unless I can push it out. I can push it out past it. Because this doesn't have to be like a perfect slope all the way down. Like you can hit this with like a flat spot and it would look okay. That was sort of the next step, is figuring out the side configuration here. Let's see. Like how far out can we go? Because even these thrusters don't even need to be. This whole thing could just jet out farther. Like I would need to come up with 3. Yeah. 3 blocks. Has to come out 3. Which means our thrusters... Oh, it can kind of fit in a pocket if I move these back. So I guess... Get from the cockpit. Let's fly this thing up real quick. Visually balanced wise, I guess our rear landing gear can come back a little bit. Probably should have referenced that before. It could also be a thick. Those back landing gear could also just be inside the tanks. Like they don't have to be symmetrical with the front ones. They could be like a back centered one. Because I could get really fancy with the back area. There's so much room back there to greeble stuff in. I could get real cute with it. But so the lift thrusters, all the lift thrusters could move back a little bit. They don't need to be where they're at. That was just an initial placement we were sketching. I think the back ones definitely have to come back. It looks funny right now with where they're at. The geometry in the back is not there yet. So then with these back ones, they could... See, what's our height? We're about halfway up these conveyors. I could put these back ones like this. Oh my god, I did that again. Ugh. Freaking A. I hate that it deletes the entire bounding box, not just the object you're looking at. That is so annoying. Oh my gosh, it deleted a bunch of the tanks also. frustrating. Frustrating. Not gonna lie, it looks cool when those pillars are just sitting down on the ground, though. It's kind of worth it just to see that effect. Also, I don't... Oh, yeah, because they got deleted. Never mind. I was going to say, I don't know why these fell out, but it's because they just got deleted. How does that feel when it's landing? Does it seem like it feels balanced? How's it look on the outside? So it's just gonna be so cool, like walking through interiors of ships in this game, just because you can do really cool stuff with hallways and things. Oh, that's right, deleted those too. Shoot. Where's my... Which one's got the... Control panel? There it is. What's cool about these control panels, there's like a refuel hydrogen tank for these. So you can like refuel your hydrogen tank from the outside of any tank. It's pretty cool feature. Just a great little quality of life addition. I don't know if I love the narrow in the back, but it would really, things would fit better inside, I think, if I did that. Just considering how much we're crammed on space in the front of this with those landing gear. But that's sort of the beauty of the unified grid system, is just cramming things in and them working and fitting. Man, so I might have to move all of these side things out one. Which, whatever, again, these were all just thrown in there without any rhyme or reason, so it's only logical that likely they wouldn't fit. It's just too bad this front landing gear isn't going to fold up nicely. Oops, sorry, just checking something. The many quandaries of greebling and space engineers. I do love being able to walk underneath this, though. Granted, when I add more stuff, you'll probably have to crouch in certain areas, because there will also be lots of texture greeble underneath this thing as well. The back also doesn't need to be all hydrogen tanks like that. So the landing gear could be wider and fold up kind of in between the tanks and the engines and stuff. Like I could take out the center tanks, and the landing gear could just raise up, excuse me, in between that. Of course, when they're in the back, I can also rotate them. Also hoping to replicate the top symmetry on the bottom a little bit, and not much space to do that with at the moment at all. Also, landing gear could be in both these places. Just saying. Oh yeah, because the other thing too is this was going to get in the way with this conveyor. I guess it does raise Raises up to there. Come down straight like that. Raises back up. Man, it's gonna be so cool. It's gonna be so freaking cool. I'll leave it in both for now and assess as we go forward. That was too low. Come on. There we go. Go. I'll ignore the fact that I don't have my pistons right now. By pistons, I mean columns, pillars. Maybe I didn't have symmetry on. All that trying to get in the right spot, I didn't even have symmetry on. What a bozo. Let's do this. Needs to be right here in that corner. Oh, but I can't delete that because it's going to undo it. Because if I delete it, it's going to break my conveyors again. Okay, did it. Did it, got it good. There would be more weight in the back, too, so it would be fitting if there was more landing gear back there. I'm gonna have more room in here than I know what to do with, though, by the end of this thing. Okay. Let's clean up our little mess over here. Messy boy. Whenever I have... Next time I shoot something that's going to be... Like I want to make like a garage scene to like shoot the Renegade in. And one of the things I was going to do is kind of just have like random components sort of like... You kind of just like place them on the ground or pile them up. Or have like props that you like... That aren't attached to the grid. They're just like free floating on the planet. It's kind of nice thing about when you're in gravities, you can push stuff around. A lot of servers will probably delete it as clutter, but when you're just on your own creative stuff, you can sort of have a bunch of elements like that. Okay, so let's extend this out. Doing a lot of extending. Let's initially see what it looks like as a full step. We had this. That's probably too much. It's getting to be pretty wide doing that. That is pretty wide. Yowzers. I did not want to leave the cockpit. I just wanted to switch to my spectator camera. Wrong button. I have to keep my guy in the cockpit because it's useful just to flip into the flying view and see what it looks like. Yeah, I think that's definitely a better dimensionally. It's just a matter of figuring out how to greeball this thing in. So I think just temporarily, let's throw our side thrusters here. So we have a conveyor for it. Let's get rid of these. These originally were hydrogen tanks. And we did need to add in a little bit more hydrogen. So we'll bring these back as hydrogen tanks. Just hope random things don't fall off my ship as I'm doing this. does happen. Okay, so this is hydros. We did talk about moving our vertical thrusters around a little bit. We can move them down and we can move them back. Let's land this. Right now, we can walk under this, and you can walk under the thrusters. We put them a little lower, you can't walk under the thrusters. Doesn't really matter if you can or can't. But if they were lower, they can mesh a little better with our geometry here. I think what I'm going to do is take a version of this one, because I'm about to just destroy the side of this thing. Let's just save this as a moment in time. In the event that I break it. Which I probably will. Let's just copy. Let's just copy this whole thing. A lot of conveying on there. I don't really want to have to make again if I don't have to. Let's raise it off the ground. Actually, yeah, should be good. Not deleting all of the thrusters in one direction so it won't fall. Famous last words. Famous last words. Will that delete those tanks? It might. It didn't. All but one. Not too shabby. What's that? Okay, and we'll take this guy. Don't know if we need that on there just yet. Let's actually make this symmetrical. So I can copy and paste it on either side. Okay. Let's grab this center part here. And how well is it placed in here? I can't really see what I'm placing onto. Sort of flying blind. Think that's centered? Don't know that the landing gear needs to come directly flush with it though. Try and get it as in as I can because I'm going to do some armoring around it to get it to fit. Let's paste one over here. What am I lining up with? That little strip there lines up with the center of that hydrogen. Do wish symmetry just pasted a little bit better. Actually, it's good there. It's perfect. No, it is. I know it is. This can actually move in more to get it farther away from that hydrogen. How's the height of that look? That is significantly lower. Oh, that's like almost flush with the ground there. That's too low. Well, this is going to take some work, and I think I got to think about this one. Let's just go ahead and undo that. Undo that. Can I undo? What was it just undoing there? Oh, I was undoing that on there. Dang, I was hoping I could. No action history. I just messed up my undo. That's okay. I was hoping I could put it back on, but that's what we copied for. Well, I think since I got some more mathing to do on this thing, I think that'll be it for now. We made some forward progress. Not as much as I was hoping. We at least have the interior. Let me go power this thing on. Actually do this one. This one's a little bit more finished looking. We made some progress. We have a whole cargo area now that looks more like a cargo area. Got sort of our final form factor going in. I think the 3 pods is not the solution. I was going to kind of do a cool, like, greebly thing around it. I don't know if I have an example. Sort of like this. I was going to do something like that. Looks kind of cool. But we'll see how it plays out. I think I got to do some more math and to figure out how everything's going to fit in here. Figure out where I can make it narrower and where I can afford to make it wider. I just don't want to lose the silhouette too much. I have a lot of math to figure out on the back side of it. But, yeah. Not sure. Let me know what you guys think of these, like, build streams. If they're valuable or just kind of boring. Because what one person finds boring, somebody else might find interesting. And, maybe there's some value that comes out of it. Just figured if I'm sitting here building, might as well turn on the stream, and if people want to tune in, they can. If not, then that's all right too. We'll call these, anytime I'm building, it'll say let's build, so you'll have a pretty good understanding if I'm like building or actually playing around. You know, obviously once we have more survival content, I'll be doing much more stuff in survival as well. So we'll see. We will see. Still don't know. Still don't have a release date for 2.2. I think the roadmap says Q1, Q2. I have it open. I had it open. Yeah, Q1, Q2. So hopefully we get mechanical blocks sooner rather than later, because it'd be really fun. Subgrids, block tools, weapons, area welding, block wrappers, full GPS. I don't know if we're gonna have anything to shoot with the weapons or not. If they'll just be working. hopefully there's something to do battle with. Otherwise, weapons will just be on here for the sake of weapons. But yeah, thanks for hanging out with me while we do some building. It's good seeing some of you guys. I'm sure the next time you'll see this, it'll be a little farther along, a little more shape to it. I honestly don't think it's too far away from finally being able to button it up. Like the crew area will go together pretty fast once we have our final spot for our floors. I mean, I could put that together really quickly. There's just not much use yet because I might move things up or down a block or two, and I don't want to have to redo the whole crew area. But it's coming along. We'll work on a name. Splash damage recommended Toad. It is kind of give Toady vibes. Figure out some geometry for the end. We'll get there. We'll get there. Anyway, thanks everybody for hanging out. Be sure to like the stream if you liked the stream. And I'll be a little bit clearer about when I'm going live next time. This one was kind of last minute. I think I gave an announcement like 90 minutes before I scheduled it, so nobody really knew it was happening. I was just like, you know what? I need to get a stream up and find a bit more consistent schedule. So I'll figure out best times for when everybody's on and stuff, and we'll go from there. But in the meantime, you guys have a good one, and enjoy stuff. Enjoy stuff. Godspeed, engineers.